In the city of Moipis, riddled with life-and-death battles, a massive brawl was erupting violently. Countless undead swarmed down, causing both soldiers and civilians to panic and scatter in chaos. Amidst the turmoil, Bai Yi appeared, the only one who had single-handedly crossed national borders. The difference between him and others was stark, truly worthy of being the strongest in the Divine Dragon Empire. Zichuan, captain of the Ryu Hong Kuai, marveled through his binoculars at such terrifying power. Judging by the current situation, everyone believed the city of Epis was about to fall. Zichuan stared at the figure standing high above, goosebumps rising all over, unable to hold back his astonishment. Necromancer Bai Yi, can one person really do all this? He truly was a monster. At that moment, Mu Bai stood atop a dragon, leading the undead legion forward. The more undead he absorbed, the more noticeably his power increased. But that was still not enough for the new life Mu Bai held in his grasp. He could only keep growing stronger. Recalling the past, his HP bar back then was only a single point, with a year of lifespan left. He had never thought he could survive and make it this far. Originally, Mu Bai was the top gamer on Blue Star, possessing a massive fortune worth trillions. But due to one accident, he fell into a vegetative state. The cruel twist of fate did not stop there. His fiancée, Ru Yan, had pulled the plug on his ventilator, because she believed a person in a vegetative state was no different from being dead. Ironically, Mu Bai could still hear every sound around him, he just could not move. Because of this, he discovered his classmate. Zhao Shu was the one pulling the strings behind Ru Yan, plotting to seize all the assets. More shocking, 5 years ago, he had put her into Mu Bai's bed just to wait for this day, and he was also the one who caused the accident that left Mu Bai in a vegetative state. Mu Bai was enraged to the extreme, they were worse than beasts. He had wasted his trust, considering them close family and brothers from university days. In the end, he could not stop Zhao Shu from yanking off his ventilator. The two even had the audacity to be cheerful right in front of Mu Bai, lying on the hospital bed barely breathing. Mu Bai deeply regretted not seeing through their plotting from the first meeting. He could only desperately beg the heavens to let him move, instead of lying there waiting to die. But in the end, consciousness slowly slipped away from Mu Bai, just as he had only one final breath left. A strange gate appeared. Everyone was stunned, wondering if an alien civilization was invading Earth. Suddenly, a notification sounded, sent to everyone, congratulating Blue Star for being chosen to participate in the Myriad Realms game. All participants will start from zero, opening a completely new life. Nationwide transmigration will begin in 30 seconds. Game materials have been stored in everyone's brain for future reference. Sure enough, information about the Myriad Realms game suddenly appeared in humanity's minds even though they had never read it anywhere. Everyone reacted differently, some with fear, some with excitement, wondering what kind of game the Myriad Realms truly was. Zhao Shu and Ru Yan, just finished with their intimate acts and still lying in bed, also received the notification, and he could not help but curse. Blue Star chosen for the Myriad Realms game? He thought he was about to become a billionaire, but who knew he could not bring his current wealth into the game? What a frustration. Ru Yan read the notification repeatedly and realized that as long as one still had a breath, they could enter the game world, and she immediately worried that Mu Bai might also be able to enter. Zhao Shu, upon hearing this, just sneered, believing that given his current state, Mu Bai could not last 30 seconds, let alone enter the game, and even if he did, he would be nothing but trash. As the 30-second countdown reached zero, all of humanity was simultaneously teleported into the game world. Mu Bai was no exception. This seemed to be the chance heaven had granted him. If that was the case, Mu Bai resolved that in this new world, he absolutely must not die. Absolutely must not give up. The massive teleportation array opened, pulling all of humanity inside. Some screamed in fear, saying they did not want to participate in any game, they just wanted to go home. Others screamed too, but out of excitement, for they were tired of their current lives. Their first destination was the Temple of the Descenders. Upon arriving, Mu Bai realized he was not dreaming, and now he could stand steadily. Next, a notification sounded, welcoming the Blue Star players to the Myriad Realms game, beginning the body scan process. Your identity will become a descender. Please confirm your in-game name. The feeling of being alive again was wonderful. Mu Bai did not need to think long before choosing the alias Bai Ye. After naming was complete, he began to awaken his talent. All Myriad Realms players were automatically awakened in the Starry Sky Temple. Talents were divided into 9 grades, from the lowest F to the highest SSF. To become strong in the Myriad Realms game, possessing a good talent was essential. As the awakening process was random, players could not choose their own grade. Mu Bai was no exception, only able to hope his luck was not too poor. Unexpectedly, things went even smoother than hoped when he successfully awakened the forbidden S-grade talent called Level Up. The talent granted 3 skill effects. The first was Level Up. Mu Bai could raise any item by 1 grade without worrying about consumption, and the effect lasted forever. Second was Ascension, allowing him to raise an item by 2 grades but costing a certain amount of resources, and the effect was also permanent. The last was Mutation, which only required spending a portion of lifespan to raise an item by 3 grades and add a special property to it. The effect was permanent, and the first use was free. The talent settled, the next step was choosing a class. The basic classes included 4 main categories: physical, magical, defensive, and supportive. Mu Bai pondered for a long time. With the level up talent, he had originally planned to choose a warrior or mage, but unexpectedly a new notification sounded. System detected that Bai Yi's starting attributes were insufficient to meet the requirements, and proceeded to remove the classes that could not be chosen. Based on his starting attributes, the only class available was Necromancer. Mu Bai was utterly astonished. He did not understand why he could only choose Necromancer, nor did he have any knowledge about this class. This game system was truly terrifying, not giving him a chance to resist and directly ending the class selection process. Just like that, Mu Bai officially became a Necromancer. When he held the skull-topped staff in his hand, he realized this class did not sound bad at all. At that moment, Mu Bai inadvertently realized that his maximum health points were only a mere one. Could the system be mistaken? Only one drop of blood for a whole lifetime? Wouldn't even a slight bump be the end of him? Wait, my remaining lifespan is only 1 year? Having an S-rank talent is useless if it's like this. Mu Bai shouted in frustration, but the only response he got was silence from the game system. With no other choice left, he had to take a gamble. Besides, didn't it just say he awakened a level-up talent? Thinking this, he immediately ordered the system to use the critical hit skill to upgrade his class. To increase the Necromancer class by 3 levels, you need to consume 100,000 years of lifespan. You will be granted a free critical hit effect on lifespan cost. Confirm or not? Mu Bai didn't hesitate and immediately pressed confirm. In an instant, he successfully transitioned to the exclusive hidden class, Lord of Death. His stat growth also changed drastically, now granting a full 15 free stat points per level. Additionally, he learned Life Link, Enhanced Summoning, and received the exclusive item, Tome of Death. The title Lord of Death alone sounded overpowered. Mu Bai was extremely satisfied, feeling this move was incredibly precise. Suddenly, the system announced that the Myriad Worlds game would officially launch in just 10 seconds, forcing Mu Bai to start preparing immediately. Since the talent upgrade earlier had consumed too much time, he hadn't had a chance to familiarize himself with his new class, so he would have to figure things out inside the game. Ruyan, Zhao Xu. Just you wait. I will definitely track you two down and make you taste the ultimate despair. When the countdown ended, the game world officially opened. In the Myriad Worlds game, each death would make a player lose a level and 10% of their lifespan, with a minimum of 10 years. However, thanks to the protection of the beginner village, Mu Bai would only lose a level without any lifespan deduction if he died. Beginner village number 905-27 of the Divine Dragon Empire suddenly became unusually lively with a wave of players arriving from Blue Star. Around Mu Bai was a chaotic sea of people and countless noises, phrases like, haha, finally, the scenes from novels are becoming reality, and this time we've got to make a name for ourselves. Bro, pull me along, screw the priest, heal me up. Anyone here? B-rank talent mage looking for a party. In the midst of the crowded stream, Mu Bai quietly slipped away to a corner because he needed to check out the effects of the skills he had just received. First was the Summon Minor Skeleton skill, which did exactly as its name suggested, creating a weak skeleton to fight for the Necromancer. It required 3 seconds to cast, a 30-second cooldown, and 20 mana. The skeleton's stats were boosted by the player's spirit stat. Next was the Incinerate skill, releasing Soulfire to deal a total of 150% magic damage based on spell power over 5 seconds, with a cast range of 30 meters, a 2-second cast time, a 5-second cooldown, costing 10 mana. These were his 2 F-rank skills, 1 summon and 1 attack, enough to make Mu Bai feel extremely satisfied. Not only that, he also had an A-rank skill called Life Link, which allowed the user to link with a summoned creature they created, sharing health points with it. It activated instantly and took 10 seconds to summon. Next was the S-rank passive skill called Summoning Buff, which had no levels. When active, the cast time and cooldown of all summoning skills were halved, summoned creature stats increased by 50%, and the summon space limit also increased by up to 500%. My skills are truly diverse, and I even have the ability to share life with my summons. That means I don't have to worry about my own survival limit, Mu Bai murmured happily. At that moment, a book suddenly appeared before his eyes. Ah, right. He had forgotten he still had the Tome of Death in his possession. This was an exclusive class item. It couldn't be dropped or damaged, nor could it be traded or exchanged. Currently, it was at a level unbounded to his character. All stats would be unlocked after reaching level 1, while the special effects would have to wait until passing level 10. Since his current level wasn't high enough to use the Tome of Death, Mu Bai could only casually put it aside. For now, he'd try summoning a skeleton. Surprise occurred when 2 of them appeared before his eyes, leaving Mu Bai stunned. System quickly explained that the critical hit trait from switching to the hidden class had been activated. Specifically, after upgrading from Necromancer to Lord of Death, the first effect was that all skill effects were doubled, while the second and third effects were still locked due to unmet conditions. Hearing this, Mu Bai was incredibly excited. He looked closely at the 2 skeletons he had summoned. Even though they didn't seem particularly powerful, having 2 at once was still better than 1. Just then, a man passing by saw the scene and stopped to suggest to Mu Bai, "Oh, a summoner. Your talent must be at least A rank, right? How about we team up? My talent is also A rank. If we work together, we'll definitely level up much faster." It was true that teaming up with other beginners would be very helpful in the early stages, but Mu Bai still declined, saying he preferred to grind alone. Being rejected so bluntly, the man seemed displeased and sneered, "What's with the attitude? It's just a summoner system anyway. You probably couldn't even catch a single clay chicken." Mu Bai let those words go in one ear and out the other, lightly leading his 2 little skeletons away. He reached the monster grinding area. He saw a large crowd gathered. A newly formed team seemed to be struggling with a clay chicken. They kept attacking it without success and finally gave up. We're done fighting. I'm going back to the village to find some life profession. Whoever wants to deal with this monster can do it themselves. As Mubai got closer, he realized this was exactly the clay chicken the man had mentioned. It was level 1, had 100 health points, 10 attack power, and both physical and magic defense were at 5 points. Upon seeing Mubai appear, a few people began to whisper, "Look at that guy Bai Yi. The 2 skeletons he summoned look pretty feisty. He must have awakened a good talent. Makes me jealous." Stop being jealous and focus on killing the chicken. Seeing them looking at him with such hesitant eyes, Mubai simply replied, "Relax, I won't steal any monsters from you. Besides, I've awakened a pretty formidable talent." With his abilities, there was no way he would stoop to competing over some ordinary clay chickens with that group. He then decided to venture deeper into the forest. In this place, he encountered a whole flock of red-eyed rabbits. These were level 2 monsters with a hefty 150 health points and 15 attack power. Getting hit by them would surely be painful. Fortunately, Mubai didn't have to fight directly. Otherwise, with his single point of health, he definitely couldn't survive a single blow. The 2 little skeletons then began to fight seriously. Noticing there was no one else around, Mubai summoned a few more to add more firepower against the red-eyed rabbits. Thanks to this, he was able to easily take down many rabbits without spending too much effort. Thanks to his skills, the experience gained was also increased by an additional 50%, making the leveling process much faster. Such a rapid rate of experience accumulation, Mubai was almost at level 1. Thanks to the doubling effect, he had also linked his life with his 2 little skeletons. From this moment on, even with only 1 HP, Mubai could no longer be easily taken down. Now, he could fully summon a few more skeletons. However, to avoid drawing too much attention, he decided not to go all out for now and just stop at 4 skeletons. Under Mubai's precise command, the 4 little skeletons enthusiastically grinded monsters. Some people saw him leisurely commanding his bone army and couldn't help but talk about it. One person said, "Hey, is that guy a necromancer? It looks so easy to level up while walking. What's so good about it? He can summon 4 at once, and their stats are far better than mine. He must have an S-rank talent. Maybe his strength is even in the top tier of our beginner village 9527. Even though people around were buzzing about him, Mubai didn't care. What he cared about most at the moment was finally reaching level 1 and receiving 15 free stat points to distribute wisely. Since his summon stats depended on his spirit, he immediately dumped 11 points into spirit and put the remaining 4 points into agility. After all, with only 1 point of health, the faster he could run, the safer he'd be. Then, an idea flashed in his mind. Ah, right, his class could also level up. Why not try upgrading his skills? No sooner said than done. Mubai immediately used his talent to upgrade all his main skills. As a result, the F-rank skill Summon Minor Skeleton became an E-rank skill named Summon Skeleton. The F-rank skill Incinerate was upgraded to E-rank with the same name. The A-rank Life Link became the S-rank Life Share, and the S-rank Summoning buff finally increased to become the SS-rank Summon Death. Seeing that all his skills had successfully leveled up, all of them had become much stronger than before. This made Mubai extremely joyful. Especially the S-rank Life Share skill, which could passively share health points from all summoned creatures. This was truly heaven-defying. Even though Mubai's main health bar would forever be stuck at precisely 1 point, with this skill, his auxiliary health bar had now reached nearly 9,000 points. Add in the Summon Death skill, doesn't that mean he could summon 20 skeleton soldiers at once? At this point, Mubai became extremely confident. There was no need to be too modest anymore. He just needed to fill up his summon space and grind levels as fast as possible. Additionally, since he had reached level 1, he took out the Book of Death and upgraded this exclusive piece of equipment. That item transformed into the Holy Codex of Death. However, its basic attributes left Mubai feeling somewhat disappointed, because it only added a mere 15 points to magic intensity. He muttered to himself, never mind, he would deal with it after reaching level 10. For upon reaching that level, the Holy Codex of Death would unlock an additional special effect. Now it was time to get serious about leveling up. Mubai immediately summoned a squad of skeletons, a full 20 of them. Thanks to the 75% cooldown reduction and the instant cast trait, each summoning of skeletons cost a mere 2 seconds. With all these stacking effects, Mubai's army quickly became extremely powerful. Those sharp-clawed level 3 demon cats were no match for him at all. And so, the entire horde of demon cats was swiftly defeated by Mubai. That incredible leveling speed shot him straight up to level 2. Mubai had no intention of stopping. He continued to grind levels tirelessly. Half an hour later, he stood before the entrance to the first dungeon zone. It was the Misty Forest, a place with treasures, but also fraught with countless dangers. For ordinary people, challenging it solo was impossible, but Mubai was not alone. He had a whole gang of underlings with him. With boundless confidence, he chose the dungeon's difficulty. He directly selected the highest difficulty, the Infernal tier, and strode inside. Inside the dungeon, the fog was so thick that Mubai could not see the path ahead. He immediately ordered his minions to find their own way and attack the monsters. Fortunately, within a 100-meter radius, Mubai could freely control his summons, otherwise, he would have had to stay glued to their side for fear of them getting lost. Very quickly, the first skeleton encountered an enemy. It was an elite level 8 mystery fiend. The massive health pool of 3,600, an attack of 74, physical defense of 60, magical defense of 40, and a binding skill. It was indeed a formidable opponent. The moment he spotted it, Mubai excitedly ordered the whole group to charge forward. One of the skeletons he had summoned fell victim to an attack. It was the binding skill of the mystery fiend. Subsequently, this summoned creature had one of its arms severed by the attack. The elite monster's attack power was indeed considerable, but Mubai was not worried in the least because his minions were too numerous. He commanded them to focus their fire on it, and the skeletons obeyed instantly. So, Mubai took down the level 8 tree fiend to earn 60 experience points. This dungeon was originally level 5, but the infernal difficulty boosted the monsters by 3 levels and made them all elites, so the experience gain was bound to be massive. Just as he thought this, Mubai suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. He turned his head, discovering an elite level 8 misty forest centipede attempting to sneak up on him compared to the tree fiend. Its health was a bit lower, but its attack power was a staggering 108, but Mubai paid no attention to those numbers. The death scepter in his hand suddenly shone brightly. He struck straight towards the target. Simultaneously, the skeleton legion charged forward to protect their master. The misty forest centipede was quickly brought down by them. Mubai had to admit that, even though his spirit stat was 3 times that of a normal necromancer, his own spells were still not as strong as the summoned skeleton minions. Just then, from the corpse of that monster dropped a piece of equipment, the level 5 woven vine belt, made of H-grade material with 30 durability. This equipment's effect was to increase armor by 9 points and vitality by 2 points. Since it was just a common piece of armor, Mubai was a bit disappointed, but he stored it away anyway. If unusable, he could always sell it for money. Deeper he went into the dungeon. The denser the swarm of misty forest centipedes became. Mubai stood at the center of the command, tightly protected by his skeleton minions. He was completely untouched by any enemy attack. The situation was quite chaotic. Both sides fought fiercely, neither willing to yield. But in the end, the advantage still belonged to Mubai's side. Not long after, he quickly reached level 5. The monsters also dropped many more useful pieces of equipment. From wooden staves, serpent fang daggers, woven vine robes, a binding E-rank skillbook, a strangulation E-rank skillbook, Mubai glanced through them all and found that only the wooden staff was usable. The rest would have to be saved for later upgrades or sold for money. It was just that the stats of that wooden staff were still quite poor. Mubai would only use it temporarily. He would still need to find a way to switch to a better weapon later. Along with this, his Holy Codex of Death also leveled up, as its level would increase along with the character. At level 5, the basic attributes of the Holy Codex of Death were an increase of 75 points to magic power, an increase of 25 points to all attributes, and a 100% increase in damage dealt to spiritual creatures. Not bad, not bad. Mubai kept praising it, though he doubted there would be many spiritual creatures in this dungeon. Afterwards, he gathered all his summons together. With his new weapon and equipment, Mubai was ready to challenge the boss, as the infernal difficulty would make the battle much tougher. In total, there was 1 silver-grade boss along with 2 enhanced elites. Boston was the Mistwood Centipede King. Its maximum health reached 88,000 HP. Its attack stat was 327, physical defense 136, magic defense 98, and it had 4 skills: Death Coil, Devouring Glare, Venom Spit, and Earth Splitter. Beside it were 2 Mistwood Centipede guards, each with 8,350 health, 19.8 attack, and only the Death Coil skill. Mubai hesitated slightly when he saw them, since the boss alone had nearly 90,000 health, and with the 2 guards backing it up, he was unsure if his squad of Lola skeletons could hold their ground. Whether they could hold or not, the only way to find out was to try, so Mubai immediately ordered them to charge forward all at once. The great battle officially began, but the Mistwood Centipede King was truly no pushover. With a single strike, it sent one of Mubai's skeletons to the eternal void. Though its power astonished him, Mubai remained confident because his swarm tactic was something few bosses could withstand. Every 2 seconds, Mubai summoned another new skeleton. They surged forward layer by layer like ocean waves. After some time, the 2 guards were brought down by him. The Mistwood Centipede guards were completely dealt with. It made the boss itself much easier to handle, so Mubai immediately ordered his minions to focus all their firepower on it. He even charged in himself to land some blows. However, the damage he dealt was nothing more than a scratch to the opponent. Mubai felt a bit embarrassed, realizing he really should just stand aside and command his undead legion. The Mistwood Centipede King was not about to give up easily either. Relying on its superior size and strength, it kept striking out, each blow sending another skeleton flying. Mubai dared not let his guard down, continuously summoning new skeletons to replenish his losses. Centipede King's health steadily dropped. Observing the situation, he noticed it seemed about to unleash its ultimate move. But what Mubai did not anticipate was that this boss possessed extremely high intelligence. That deadly move actually targeted his exact position and came straight at him. Mubai could not dodge in time and took the full brunt of the attack, but thanks to his ability to share life with his summons, he remained standing after the hit. Hey, this old man has life resonance with a health cap over 100,000. How could your puny damage possibly harm me? Mubai was utterly relaxed, taunting the opponent with a confident tone. Now it was his turn to counterattack, and the skeletons poured all their strength into their ultimate moves. They successfully took down the Mistwood Centipede King, earning their master 14,400 experience points. Watching the giant centipede collapse, Mubai was overjoyed, raising his hand high and shouting, "Easy as pie." After this battle, Mubai became the first player in Novice Village 9527 to solo a boss, receiving a low-grade Soul Fate Stone and a chunk of gold coins. At the same time, an announcement that Bai Yi was the first to defeat a silver-grade boss was sent to all players in Novice Village 9527. Most people were utterly astonished, since the majority of newbies were still struggling against regular mobs, while Mubai had already single-handedly taken down a silver-grade boss. At that moment, everyone was curious about who Bai Yi was, what kind of talent he had awakened to possess such terrifying power. He lamented how vast the gap between people could be, saying the game World of Myriad Realms was so unfair when others could barely kill small monsters while someone was already soloing bosses. Elsewhere, Feng Ye and Fu Jia were grinding monsters when they read the announcement, and Fu Jia expressed regret that she had not let Feng Ye solo the Black Iron boss to receive a server-wide announcement himself. "No worries, there will be plenty more opportunities ahead," Feng Ye replied while landing a powerful blow on the monster before him. He humbly admitted that Bai Yi was far stronger than him since that was a silver-grade boss, and even though he had awakened an S-grade talent himself, he had struggled quite a bit against the Black Iron boss. Therefore, they speculated that Bai Yi's talent must be at least SS grade, and hearing this, their two companions, Wei and Hua Tang, felt extremely excited. They exclaimed that an SS grade talent was incredibly powerful, then asked Fu Jia if there was any chance of recruiting that person to join their team. Fu Jia had never even considered such a thing before. But hearing Hua Tang's suggestion, she also wanted to try inviting an expert to the team, confident that no man could refuse her invitation. But this time, she had miscalculated. After the server-wide announcement, Mubai received countless friend requests, with everyone wanting to latch onto the expert. Fu Jia's invitation was just one among hundreds of others. Mubai had no time to bother with them, so he flatly rejected them all. At that moment, he finally examined the reward from the battle, which was the low-grade Soul Fate Stone, a special item that granted an additional 30 days of lifespan upon absorption. But if he unfortunately lost his life, he would lose 1/10 of that time, a minimum of 3 days. Since Mubai's original lifespan was less than a year, when he saw an item that extended lifespan, his eyes lit up, thinking that if one stone added 30 days, upgrading them would be even more beneficial. With that thought, Mubai immediately upgraded it from low grade to mid grade. The effect was greatly enhanced, with one stone extending lifespan by 120 days, and with 6 stones in hand, he had gained nearly 2 years, which was truly good news, giving Mubai a new goal of collecting as many Soul Fate stones as possible. As for the equipment that dropped in the dungeon, the 2 skill books were not things he could use. Among the remaining items, only the poison ring had some use, so Mubai upgraded it as well. After upgrading, it became the Golden Grade Deadly Venom Ring with a maximum durability of 100, adding 30 magic power, 10 agility, and 10 spirit, and its spell skills had a chance to deal an additional 150 poison damage every 10 seconds. This magic with poison damage was not bad at all. After checking the spoils, he took roll call of his troops, and quite a few skeletons had perished, with losses that heavy from just a basic boss. Mubai realized his minions were still not strong enough, and now with some gold in hand, he wanted to try upgrading his summon skill. When he chose to use the Ascend skill, the game sent him a notification. The system asked if he was sure he wanted to spend 5 gold to overwrite the previous upgrade effect and raise the skeleton summon skill to a higher tier, and Mubai frowned at the system's stinginess after reading it. But money spent could be earned back, so he directly used the skill, and as a result, the skeleton summon skill leveled up into the D-grade skill, Summon Skeleton Warrior. At this level, the dry skeletons even had their own class, summoning a warrior or archer every 3 seconds, with a 30-second cooldown and a cost of 200 mana. The skeleton stats still depended directly on Mubai's spiritual power. Now, a dry bone archer had strength, physique, and agility, all reaching 637, with over 6,000 maximum health, 764 attack damage, and 319 physical defense. Along with that was the double shot skill, which fired 2 arrows dealing an additional 90% physical damage. The dry bone warrior had similar stats. However, the warrior's health reached 7,644 and damage was a full 956 points. Its heavy strike skill dealt 155% physical damage to the target. After checking the new stats, Mubai no longer regretted the money. With these numbers, the 5 gold coins were more than worth it. To test his little minions, he led them into the forest to face the level 8 elite goblins. They were indeed level 8 elite monsters, but now the stats of the undead legion under Mubai's command completely overwhelmed them. The goblins didn't even have a chance to fight back. So, he led his legion deeper and deeper into the forest. At this time, in the novice village, many new players were still diligently recruiting members for their parties. One man named Hong Tu was even planning to establish a guild. Hearing this, players were not interested as they didn't want to work for anyone. When Hong Tu showed off his S-rank talent, things changed. He was a born leader, able to create a guild for free. Members received a 20% increase in experience and drop rates, plus an additional 20% boost to both physical and magical attack power. Hearing that, everyone's expressions changed immediately. An extra 20% experience and 20% item drops from monsters, plus increased attack and magic power. An S-rank talent was truly too strong. I'm joining right away. Hong Tu's offer quickly became a lucrative lure, attracting more and more participants. Just as he was the center of attention, an unexpected server-wide announcement was pinned. The announcement came from Fujia. Brother Bai Yi, please accept my friend request. I have something important to discuss. Would you accept? A group of new players buzzed with excitement after reading it. They could kill plenty of monsters and still get little. Yet this Fujia spent 10 gold coins just to send a message. Hong Tu also wondered where Fujia got so much gold from, and who was this Bai Yi that he was so valuable. Over on his side, Mubai also received the notification. Curious about who was so extravagant as to spend 10 gold coins to contact him, he agreed to the friend request. Fujia immediately messaged him. 100 gold coins. I'll take care of all your equipment and skills. Would you like to join my team? Mubai felt something was off. Offering 100 gold coins right off the bat was excessively wealthy. Newbies like them couldn't bring assets from the real world, so where did this money come from so easily? Thinking this, Mubai asked back, how do you have so much money? Why should I trust you? Fujia didn't hide it. Her S-rank fortune god talent made money just a number. As long as Mubai agreed to sign a contract to join her team, he could have as much money as he wanted. To be more specific, her first talent was shaking out money 6 times a day. Each shake gave a random amount from 1 to 999 gold coins, and could even produce special items. Her second talent increased daily resources by 1%, and her third talent ensured she never dropped items upon death. Damn, this fortune god talent is way too strong, Mubai couldn't help but exclaim. Someone with a talent like that would make money even while doing nothing. This offer was truly hard to refuse, but he still felt that teaming up would bring along a lot of trouble and would make it very easy to expose his identity. Therefore, for the initial phase, he still wanted to level up alone. Sorry, I still prefer to work alone. That message infuriated Fujia. This guy dared to refuse her? Even the goddess of fortune couldn't pull Mubai in. Hearing that, Away's group gave up, since they could still grind monsters on their own. But Fujia thought it over. The team was stable, but lacking good equipment would slow down their farming. Just as she was thinking of a way to persuade him, she received a message from Mubai. Mubai asked, are you interested in a trade? I have some equipment and skill books I don't need. Your team probably needs them. After reading it, Fujia's eyes lit up. Just when she was worried about lacking equipment, someone was selling some. How many do you have? I'll take them all, she replied immediately. Mubai replied, more than you think. Wait for me to handle my business and I'll contact you for the trade. Even though he hadn't joined the team, him selling equipment was good news. If their main attacker Feng Yi could get some top-tier gear, the entire team's offensive power would multiply. At that moment, Fujia's group was facing a level 5 elite boss named the Wild Boar Chief. It had 23,800 health, 25 attack, 81 physical defense, and 62 magic defense, along with a formidable skill set of Rend, Heavy Impact, and Trample. This boss looked even harder to deal with than the Black Bear boss they had faced before. Are you sure you can solo it? Fujia asked. Feng Yi confidently replied, I'm sure it won't be a problem. Hearing this, Fujia told Away and Hua Tang to give all their health potions to Feng Yi, then fall back and keep watch. Because of that system-wide announcement, Fujia absolutely had to win. And so, under the close support of his 3 teammates, Feng Yi advanced alone to face the Wild Boar Chief. Despite the significant difference in size, he looked extremely confident. He calmly landed precise and deadly strikes, continuously dealing damage to the opponent. The Wild Boar Chief fought back fiercely, but still couldn't touch a single hair on Feng Yi. Plenty of strength, but unfortunately, not enough speed, he remarked calmly. Seeing Feng Yi's relaxed demeanor, Fujia felt completely at ease. She believed this teammate of hers had vast experience. Soloing that boss was nothing significant. Meanwhile, Mubai had also just finished off the level 8 Goblin Chief with the help of his skeletons, gaining 14,400 experience points. After leveling up his summoning skill, his legion had become even more ferocious in the Misty Forest. Mubai had reached level 6, and just picking up the loot dropped by the boss was enough to make his arms sore. Among the items he picked up, he noticed a skill book called Bone Purification Enhancement, but since he already had the Life Link skill, he had no use for it. He also found a level 5 gold grade Mistbone robe, which increased physical defense by 28, magic defense by 20, and both physique and spirit by 10. Wearing it would reduce one's presence, thereby lowering aggro effectiveness. The effect isn't bad, but it looks too ugly, Mubai commented. He also picked up a chief's badge on par with the robe, which increased health by 200 and mana by 400, while also increasing magic critical hit rate by 5%. When a magic attack critically hit, the user gained 20 additional spirit for 10 seconds. This item was truly useful, so Mubai immediately equipped it. Just then, he suddenly felt that something was wrong. His skeleton minions suddenly lost a large amount of health. The entire forest suddenly became gloomy. Mubai heard a faint voice echo from the mist. How dare a bunch of dry bones trespass into the territory of King Ben? Immediately after, the system announced that his skeleton soldiers had triggered the Goblin King's buried memories. A hidden quest had been activated, sending the Goblin King into a frenzy, with all attributes increased by 50%. The exit from the Misty Forest had been sealed. Only by defeating the Goblin King could they leave this dungeon. The hidden quest would officially activate in 2 minutes. He still didn't understand how his skeletons had accidentally triggered the hidden storyline. But with a fight-if-provoked mentality, he also wanted to see just how powerful this Goblin King really was. With that thought, Mubai summoned a few more skeletons. Soon after, the Goblin King named Reggie appeared. This was a formidable level 8 gold rank boss. It was still in a frenzy, boosting all its stats by 50%, so its strength was nothing to scoff at. With 327,000 max health and 843 attack power, this boss was both hard to kill and hit like a truck. Reggie also possessed many active skills like lightning, a leaping slam that stunned heroes, healing for goblin warriors, and up to enrage. Seeing it in that state, Mubai was stunned. A gold tier boss that was also enraged, and the system wanted him to take it down in 2 minutes. This was truly difficult. Its health was over 300,000, but his own minions weren't few in number either. At this moment, he could only use the tactic of overwhelming numbers, so Mubai ordered his skeleton army to charge forward in waves. Under that assault, Reggie grew even more furious. "You filthy skeletons, just smelling you makes me nauseous." As it cursed, it raised its weapon and decisively slashed down. One strike instantly sent several of Mubai's minions to their graves. Witnessing it firsthand, he had to admit the Goblin King's damage was not low. If it were a normal level 6 player, one hit would be enough to send them packing. Unfortunately, it had poked a fire ant nest like him. Mubai took action himself, using an attack skill to strike the target directly. The boss, which was focusing on the tiny skeletons, was suddenly distracted by the surprise attack. Seizing that opportunity, the skeleton archers immediately fired dual shots, adding more damage. By the attacks, Reggie was extremely enraged, but its health bar was also dropping rapidly. Mubai ordered all his minions to concentrate their full firepower on the target. He didn't believe he couldn't blow it to pieces. However, a more troublesome matter occurred. He wasn't the only one with summoning abilities in this battle. Goblin King had a similar ability, and it had called forth a batch of goblin warriors who were also in a frenzied state. Each one had 13,500 health and 279 attack. Mubai could only gulp nervously. "Damn, you're playing the summoning game too, and they're all frenzied as well. This is getting a bit tough for me." Reggie's anger had reached its peak. "Damn necromancer, I led my people into the misty forest to hide," it roared. "Why won't you let us go?" Finally, it roared in a frenzy. "Warriors, smash him for me." Reggie unleashed a blow so powerful it cracked the very ground. Mubai swiftly retreated. That hurt, but thankfully their health was linked. Next, he prepared his skill, summoning knights to fight fast and win fast, clearing these weaklings first. The knights obeyed their master's command and charged forward in unison. Right after, Mubai gave another order: archers, fire arrows. The goblins were hit one by one, screaming in agony. Reggie gritted his teeth and roared, "No, this king will not lose." It roared again in fury. "This king will never be your slave again." The system immediately displayed a notification. Goblin King activates frenzy state. Attack power increased 150%. Speed increased 50%. Mubai sneered contemptuously. "Amateur, stop your blabbering." The system announced again. Novice Village 927 congratulates Feng Yi for being the first to solo defeat a bronze tier boss. Mubai looked up, missing the chance for the first boss kill. He finally decided, whatever, he wouldn't lose the long game for short-term gains. Mubai immediately unleashed a powerful attack that dealt heavy damage to Reggie. Attack, charge. The boss continuously lost health and tumbled backward. Reggie was shocked to see his own blood splatter. Checking the kill log, Mubai was also impressed. He didn't expect soloing a gold tier boss would yield more than 2 soul fate stones. He looked around, no drops. Mubai wondered, could it be related to the hidden storyline? At this moment, Hong Tu was secretly overjoyed. This was truly a rare life-extending treasure. The guild leader is amazing. The 2 subordinates flattered him in turn. The guild leader is the top expert in Novice Village 9527. That's right, Baiye just got lucky. The system announced again, Novice Village 90527 congratulates Feng Yi for being the first to defeat a bronze tier boss. A subordinate spoke with disdain that Feng Yi was just lucky. Now let's go find the gold tier boss. Did you think I was invincible and could kill everything? System announced again, congratulating Baiye for being the first to solo defeat a gold tier boss. Special encouragement for everyone to learn from this and receive rewards. Hong Tu was truly annoyed now. Baiye, what talent did you actually awaken? Is it SSS rank? Even Feng Yi had to wonder. Baiye again, this person is truly formidable. Fujiao remained optimistic. It's fine. The Myriad World game has only just begun. There's plenty of time to catch up to him. Besides, I'm still here. Feng Yi was slightly excited. Let's go. It's time to check out the first dungeon. The system demanded, within 2 minutes, defeat the Goblin King Reggie to activate the hidden storyline Reggie's Nightmare. Then, the Misty Forest dungeon difficulty will increase to catastrophe level. Mubai was still fighting hard. The level above hell is catastrophe? Goblin's face suddenly emitted smoke. That made Mubai suspicious. What's happening? They kept jumping up in a bizarre manner, their entire bodies catching fire. Mubai couldn't help but exclaim, terrible, so the little skeletons before were to gather souls? He watched Reggie, which was now emitting smoke, intently. Its body glowed brilliantly before crashing heavily to the ground. Instantly, Reggie transformed into the Dried Smoke King, one of the most successful creations of the necromancers of the Great Han Dynasty, a creature that should not exist in this place. Reggie muttered to himself, in the end, I couldn't escape the fate of becoming an undead. Then, it commanded the goblins, fight for Tatty, warriors. Reggie raised its colossal sword. Mubai was terrified. Are you kidding me? This thing appears in a novice village? Reggie's body radiated a massive amount of lightning. It split into several more copies. Reading the system information, Mubai's face turned pale. These 6's combat power is probably equal to my 20 minions. Let all enemies become undead like us. His face clearly showed worry. Is this for real? And there's more. This guy's attack is too high. How can I fight this? The system suddenly brought up an item. Notification: the hidden storyline, Reggie's nightmare, has officially begun. Novice village protection is now void. Upon death, you will lose 10% of your lifespan. Lose 10 years? Mubai was frozen. Really? Even absorbing all the soul fate stones wouldn't compensate for one deduction. Is my myriad world journey ending here? The attack just unleashed dealt a massive amount of damage. Mubai quickly blocked the move with a lightning strike attack. Then he ordered, "Go, my brothers, target the guards, focus fire." Assessing the current situation, at this level he could summon 20 skeleton warriors, but that wasn't enough. The enemy's defense was too strong. Accordingly, he calculated it would take another skill tier up. Time to go all out. First, absorb the stone to see how much lifespan the skill mutation level up requires. Next, Mubai took out a few mana stones. The system notified, successfully absorbed 15 intermediate soul fate stones. Lifespan insufficient, 6 years for mutation level up, summon warrior. Hint: after mutating to C rank, 3 branches will appear, including summon skeleton warrior, summon skeleton assassin, and summon skeleton mage. Mubai felt tired reading that. Branching out again? Warrior, that's the most stable, with a much thicker health pool. The information from the system panel made him suspicious. Why would such a terrifying buff be attached to a C rank skill? Does that even make sense? Power surged within Mubai. Skeleton warrior, I can summon them too now. Let's see who can summon more. Charge, let's take this guy down. The group of knights charged forward, causing Reggie to be injured. He rallied his brothers to hold on, while points continuously appeared. Mubai excitedly shouted, 2 down, 2 more to go, the more the merrier. Reggie flew into a rage, roaring that he was the king of Frostdry. The system warned Reggie to enter a berserk state. Attack increased by 50%, speed increased by 50%, but defense halved. Mubai was not worried at all, even laughing at him for shortening his own lifespan, then ordered a double shot. Next, he moved more soldiers to the front. Reggie screamed wildly, unwilling to accept defeat. That moment, the system announced that defeating Reggie would grant bonus points. Mubai was surprised to receive 270,000 experience points, nearly leveling up to 9 immediately. A notification appeared, reminding that an announcement would be sent to the entire novice village. Mubai was congratulated as the first to complete the Misty Forest dungeon, receiving 5 attribute gems and 5 gold. He was stunned by the huge reward, which added over 13 years of lifespan. The system then reported another clear of a hell difficulty dungeon. Mubai felt something was off. He clearly played on easy mode, but why did it become hell? The entrance to the Misty Forest was right in the middle of the battle. Hongtu invited everyone to join the guild before entering the dungeon. The crowd buzzed, asking to join, and when they saw their full gear, everyone marveled. They turned out to be Fujia players. Whispers spread everywhere. Everyone called them the Fujia clan. People guessed that this level 5 equipment must have cost a fortune. Truly rich players. Hongtu greeted politely. Fengyi replied that the guild leader's reputation was even greater. Hongtu proposed a bet on who would clear the Misty Forest first. Fujia immediately nodded in agreement. Hongtu excitedly believed that his talent combined with her financial power was fate, and if he won, they would have to join his guild. Fujia asked what if her side won. Hongtu declared he would help them with any one task, but Fujia demanded 3. Hongtu didn't hesitate, agreeing immediately. Right then, the system announced across the village that Bai Yi was the first to clear the dungeon, stunning both sides. Hongtu gritted his teeth in frustration upon hearing it was Bai Yi again, recalling the previous bet that made him a laughingstock. Quickly changed the rules, using a higher difficulty to decide the winner. But the system rang out again with news of Bai Yi clearing hell difficulty, then continued to report he was the first to defeat a dark gold boss. An announcement to the entire Blue Star Zone congratulated Bai Yi for overcoming a calamity-level dungeon, leaving Hongtu frozen in disbelief. His face darkened, and he coldly ordered the whole group to retreat. The little girl behind wondered why they weren't entering the dungeon anymore. Fujia calmly said to wait a bit longer since the winner was already decided. In Novice Village 8888, in the Misty Forest on Hell difficulty, sword strikes continued to swing. Tam Sheech was getting tired, wondering what talent Bai Yi had awakened that he still hadn't taken down the Goblin King. The scene shifted to Novice Village 9526. Zhao Xu felt the name Bai Yi was familiar, and Ruyan recalled the past. He asked Ruyan about the person who once pursued her. She painfully mentioned Mubai had a time of wealth and glory. Ruyan suddenly remembered Bai Yi was the name he used when playing games. Zhao Xu immediately asked again. She tremblingly said the name Mubai. Zhao Xu brushed it off, asserting that person was dead by his own hand pulling the breathing tube. The name Bai Yi was probably just a coincidence. He came up with a scheme, telling Ru Yan to seduce Bai Yi. If that person really was Mu Bai, she also felt excited. Mu Bai, in front of the bulletin board, marveled at the generous rewards of the calamity level dungeon. Now with just one drop of blood, he could revive endlessly. He opened his bag. A surging wave of spiritual energy absorbed the death key from the corpse, storing it gradually for later use. The feedback ability helped restore health or mana for himself, and could also temporarily enhance summon creatures. After practicing, Mu Bai felt at ease, no longer worrying about mana depletion. Flash of light shot straight into his forehead, prompting a confirmation to upgrade the skill life-draining feedback. He looked at Reggie, whispering he would try the new move on him first. Mu Bai raised his hand to absorb death chi from the corpse. The system reported absorbing 320 points, nearing the storage limit. He wondered if it was because Reggie was originally a wind spirit creature that the death chi was dense. A mage robe dropped out. Mu Bai excitedly concluded this was the first epic tier equipment in the Blue Star Zone, but it still needed appraisal. Suddenly an idea flashed in his mind. He sat down beside Reggie's corpse, rummaging through it, telling himself to gather everything and sell it to Fujia. It would be a waste to kill twice without dropping good items. A stream of items dropped along with notifications of receiving gold, silver, gems, and various equipment. He continued to receive more dark gold equipment and a skill book for summoning skeleton soldiers. More B-rank skill books and materials were received. Mu Bai happily praised himself for grabbing all of Reggie's belongings. The system asked if he wanted to merge the 3 skeleton summoning skill books into a higher tier. Watching the books merge into one, Mu Bai exclaimed in surprise that he didn't know they could fuse. He immediately confirmed the merge. The system announced he had learned the high-tier skeleton summoning skill at rank C. The system then displayed options for upgrading the skill from Tier 1 to Tier 3. Notification stated that promoting the skill to A rank would cost 10,000 gold, and raising it to S rank required 1,000 years of lifespan. Without hesitation, he pressed upgrade. The skill quickly rose to B rank. Though it cost a fair amount of mana, it was still worth it. A green orb suddenly appeared. The system asked if he accepted Harlan's inheritance quest. Mu Bai reached out to touch the orb, curious if this quest item could be upgraded. He chose to upgrade without any hesitation. The system warned this was a legendary level quest with extremely high difficulty. As soon as he accepted, a violent tremor occurred. A mighty green dragon appeared and roared fiercely. The system announced he had accepted the legendary quest named Dylan's Untimely Death. Because your level is still too low, you must quickly reach level 30 within 1 month to unlock the first mission stage. Please note, if you fail to unlock the mission in time, you will lose Dylan's crystal ball. After the seal on this ball is broken, its true name will be revealed as a level 0 secondary hand treasure bead, 200 item levels. Legend has it that its durability is 1000 out of 1000, with basic attributes at level 5, magic strength plus 50, all attributes plus 20, health plus 1000, mana plus 2000, and magic critical hit effect plus 1. The effect is unknown, and the special sealed state skill will unlock after entering the first mission stage. Witnessing that scene, Mu Bai chuckled and remarked, "The critical hit boost is really something else." He placed his hand before the ball, his face full of excitement as he said this harvest truly exceeded all expectations. After saying that, Mu Bai turned and walked away, muttering that it was time to meet Fujia. On the other side, Hua Tang asked Fujia, "Big sister, when are we going into the dungeon? The Hongtu Bai Ye group has been in there for a while now." She replied, "No rush, let's wait and see." At that moment, Mu Bai stepped out from the space. Seeing this, Fujia called out gleefully, "Brother Bai Yi, you've finally come out." Seeing this, he thought to himself, "Are they just waiting here to hand me money?" Then he spoke up, "Everyone's still waiting for me?" She whispered to him, "No. Did you bring the goods or should we move somewhere else to trade?" Mu Bai replied dejectedly, "No need, let's just do it here." Suddenly he raised his hand forward, and a few afterimages appeared, startling everyone. Fujia couldn't help but exclaim, "Mu Bai, Bai Ye, your strength is truly terrifying." In her heart, she assessed that this Bai Ye must definitely be an SSS tier talent player. He humbly replied, "Your talent is what truly makes people envious." Then Mu Bai asked, "There's quite a lot of stuff here. Can you handle it all on your own?" Fujia answered with confidence, "Don't worry, it won't be a problem." Right after, the items he took out piled up into a stack that made everyone's eyes widen. Hua Tang spoke up, "This much stuff, all skill books and even B-rank ones, I've never even heard of such things." Awei also added, "And there's so much equipment too." Fujia said, "Bai Ye, name your price, I'll take it all." Mu Bai priced them, black iron equipment at 5 silver, bronze equipment at 20 silver, and D-rank skill books at 20 gold. Fujia did not hesitate, tossing him a bag of gold and saying, "No problem, Bai Ye, count this gold yourself." Mu Bai swiftly caught the bag of gold. Fujia probed, "Bai Ye, I think this time you should bring out something truly top tier, right?" He replied, "Of course I have good stuff, it's just that." Immediately, Mu Bai took out some high-grade items, wondering if she had enough money. Feng Yi's jaw dropped as he shouted, "Gold rank equipment." Awei also gasped in amazement, "How can there be so much good equipment?" Hua Tang widened his eyes and said, C-rank skill books. Mu Bai waved his hand. Seeing this, it seems you don't have enough money. Fu Jia answered frankly, to be honest with you, I don't have it right now. He said, well then, I can give you all the items right now, and you can pay the remaining amount tomorrow. In his heart, he thought, after all, we can sign a system sales contract, so there's no fear of her defaulting. She said clearly, Brother Bai Ye is so straightforward, so I won't be reserved either. How much is the total? Just name your price. Mu Bai set the price. The other things are easy to talk about, but this skill book alone is 500 gold. The book is the C-rank resurrection spell, an active skill usable in non-combat state that can resurrect a target player and reduce death losses by 50%, not including lifespan. Casting range is 50 meters. Casting time is 5 seconds. Cooldown is 60 seconds. Consumes 300 mana. Requires a healing profession. Seeing this, Hua Tang remarked, a priest's resurrection skill? After the trade, Mu Bai and Fu Jia high-fived. She said, the deal is done, I'll take everything. Bai Ye, I'll pay you the remaining gold tomorrow, no problem? He replied, no problem. Watching everyone leave, Mu Bai muttered, I remember the first effect of the wealth god talent is that I can shake the money tree once a day, randomly receiving 1 to 9999 gold coins. He analyzed, she can be sure to give me 500 gold tomorrow, probably relying on the other 2 effects of the wealth god talent to build that confidence. Suddenly Mu Bai called out, right? He asked Fu Jia, I remember when you first defeated the bronze rank boss, the reward was 2 soul fate stones, right? Do you want to make another deal? I guarantee that you'll get the first clear of the nightmare rank misty forest, and you'll even have the strength to take on the hell difficulty. After saying that, Mu Bai's gaze sharpened, and he laid out his condition. The condition is, I want the soul fate stones from the first clear of the misty forest, plus the soul fate stones you currently have. Hearing this, she turned to look at Feng Ye and then shouted, deal. Later, Mu Bai lay leisurely on the grass watching the battle unfold. The system displayed a notification, eliminated level 10 forest beetle, bonus 50% over-level reward, experience plus 30 points. Eliminated level 10 elite prairie wolf monster, bonus 50% over-level reward, experience plus 150 points. Eliminated level 10 enhanced elite prairie vicious wolf, bonus 50% over-level reward, experience plus 450 points. He closed his eyes and said confidently, so what if there's only 1 drop of blood left, life is still good, leveling up isn't slow at all. Then the system announced, congratulations to player Bai Ye for leveling up to level 9, thinking plus, skill points plus 1, free attribute points plus 15. Mu Bai stretched and called out, distributing attribute points. He muttered that he had no idea where the appraiser had run off to. Mu Bai stood up, walking forward as he said, to appraise equipment, I traveled a long way to find the appraiser, but when I got here, there wasn't a single person in sight. Tell me, why would an appraiser who's doing just fine suddenly want to go out and get inspiration on the prairie instead of staying in the shop? Suddenly the system warned, your warrior has fallen in battle. The hand transformation trait has been activated. Your warrior has been revived with full status in the summoning space. For the next 60 minutes, this warrior cannot activate the resurrection effect again. Hearing this, he shouted, what, killed in an instant again? Mu Bai observed the front and said, a dried bone warrior with nearly 150,000 health can still be one shot. Is it that strong? Could it be the appraiser? If I had known NPCs were this powerful, I would have saved myself some lifespan. Suddenly a figure appeared behind him, speaking, kid, not bad. You can even summon this many piles of bone scraps. It was Huai Jian. Looking at his face, Mu Bai thought, it really is the appraiser. This speed is terrifying. Huai Jian asked, I'm rarely in a good mood, going out for inspiration, and your broken bones ruined it all. So, how are you going to compensate me? He quickly replied, can I compensate with money? Hearing that, he snatched the bag of gold and said, do I look like someone short on money? Mu Bai stammered, well, before he could finish, Huai Jian tossed him a scroll and said in a deep voice, I'm not an unreasonable man. I'll take 100 gold coins from you, and this painting is yours as a gift. Not everyone can get my work, so you should be grateful. The system notified him that he had received Huai Jian's painting. When he opened it, Mu Bai looked at the strokes and muttered in disdain, this painting, a 3-year-old could draw better. As if hearing his words, Huai Jian's face turned cold, and dark energy radiated around him. Seeing this, Mu Bai quickly waved his hands and explained, Senior, you misunderstand. I just wanted to calm my mind and wash my hands first, then slowly savor the insights you had when creating it. Suddenly, he placed his hand on Mu Bai's shoulder and said cheerfully, kid, you're not bad. I'm in a good mood today. Do you have any items to appraise? I'll do it for free. He forced a smile and replied, really? Then thank you kindly. A moment later, a flash of light appeared in the middle of the blacksmith's shop. Huai Jian looked at the high-grade items, praising endlessly, kid, your strength isn't bad, and your luck is good too. In his heart, he thought, 100 gold coins to appraise 4 items, I've taken a big loss. Huai Jian began chanting over the items, dark shadow threads, string, level 10 plate armor, dark gold rank defense item, durability 200 out of 200, requires strength 80, constitution 50, physical defense plus 75, magic defense plus 50, health plus 800, energy plus 20, constitution plus 20, agility plus 10, movement speed plus 10%. Attached skill, shadow step hides you in darkness, movement speed increases increases 60%, damage taken reduced 10%, lasts 30 seconds, cooldown 10 minutes. After equipping, activates Ghost Blade Dance. Heavy bone armor, level 10 plate armor, upgradable 3 out of 3, dark gold rank item, durability 200 out of 200 out of 200, requires strength 100, constitution 80. Physical defense plus 180, magic defense plus 120, health plus 1200, strength plus 15, constitution plus 25. Reduces physical damage by 100 points, reflects 100 points of melee damage. Attached skill bone armor, summons bone to cover the whole body. The damage reduction and reflect effects of the heavy bone armor increase by 300%, lasts 30 seconds. Bone set 1 out of 2, set effect attack plus 10%, physical defense plus 10%, not activated. Bone spikes protrude, making it impossible for enemies to know where to strike. Heavy bone sword, level 10 two-handed sword, upgradable 3 out of 3, dark gold rank item, durability 200 out of 200 out of 200, requires strength 120. Attack 208, strength 50, each hit deals 30% splash damage. Attached skill, heavy strike has a certain chance to trigger triple damage on attack. Bone set 1 out of 2, violence is the ultimate aesthetic. Dead man's necklace, level 10 accessory, dark gold rank item, durability 200 out of 200, requires spirit 100. Magic strength plus 80, health plus 500, mana plus 1000, spirit plus 30, constitution plus 10, agility plus 10. Attacks carry the curse effect, reducing the target's dual defenses by 100 points, including summoned creatures. Attached skill Dead Man, the effect of fear-based negative states on you is reduced by 50%, the dead know no fear. Done. He turned and walked away, leaving behind a remark, on a normal day, just one of these alone would cost 100 gold. Today you've made a huge profit. Alright then, next time tell your broken bones to stay away from me, don't disturb my inspiration hunting again. Mubai looked at the items joyfully and called out urgently, Senior, wait. Hearing this, Huaijian asked irritably, you damn kid, do you have more dark gold equipment to appraise? In his heart, he cursed, I really shouldn't have agreed to appraise for free for this kid, such a loss. Mubai took out a robe. Seeing this, he asked, do you even have an epic rank item? He smiled and replied, just lucky. In his heart, Huaijian assessed, if appraising dark gold is this expensive, this item must be even pricier, so a free chance is definitely something to hold on to tightly. After some thought, he turned away. I said it's free, so I absolutely won't take your money. However, my appraisal skill level is too low. I can't appraise this thing. Hearing that, Mubai's jaw dropped as he asked, you can't appraise it? Huaijian explained irritably, I'm just a part-time appraiser in the novice village. Isn't it perfectly reasonable that I can't appraise an epic rank item? Mubai secretly agreed. What he says does make a lot of sense. Suddenly he suggested, kid, how about I teach you the appraisal skill? He shouted joyfully, really? In his heart, he thought, there's such a good thing, then I won't have to spend money on appraising equipment in the future. Huaijian set the condition, but you have to pay tuition. Mubai asked, how much? He held up 5 fingers. He understood and blurted out, 500. Huaijian took out a coin with a dove symbol called an ancient gold coin and replied, that's right, but it's this kind of ancient gold coin. Looking at the gold coin, Mubai speculated, I remember after bronze coins upgrade, they become ancient bronze coins. It seems they're in my bag. Isn't that upgraded gold coin exactly an ancient gold coin? After saying that, Huaijian leisurely turned and walked away, saying, come find me when you've collected enough. The system notified that Huaijian had added you as a friend, and you have received the hidden quest collecting ancient gold coins. Quest content, collect 500 ancient gold coins for Huaijian. Quest reward, receive the secondary profession skill beginner appraisal. Mubai called out, please stop. Hearing this, he asked irritably, what do you want now? Seriously. He had already taken out a bag full of gold coins and said, Senior, look at what this is. Seeing this, Huaijian stared in shock. He looked at the bag of gold, then at Mubai, stammering, that many ancient gold coins? He didn't answer, only smiled smugly and asked, can you teach me the appraisal skill now? Huaijian tossed over a book and laughed heartily. Well done, kid. You've given me quite a surprise. Take it. The system congratulated him. You have completed the hidden quest collecting ancient gold coins and received the skill book beginner appraisal. Right after, he sprang onto the blacksmith shop and called back, kid, when you have 10,000 ancient gold coins, contact me again. I'll have another surprise for you then. Another notification popped up. You have received the hidden quest collecting ancient gold coins too. Quest content, collect 10,000 ancient gold coins for Huaijian. Quest reward, undetermined. Mubai smiled contentedly and muttered, this old man is quite interesting, even saying he'll give me a big surprise. He looked at the book being fed into the system to level up and said, a beginner appraisal skill isn't enough to satisfy me. Right then, a flash of light shot straight into the center of Mubai's forehead. The system displayed a series of notifications. Congratulations, you have received intermediate appraisal. After learning intermediate appraisal, you will receive the secondary profession intermediate appraiser. Congratulations, you have changed to the hidden secondary profession intermediate appraiser. You have learned the new skill intermediate appraisal. Player Bai Ye, secondary profession intermediate appraiser, skill intermediate appraisal not above 10,000. As skill proficiency increases, the success rate of appraisal will be slightly raised. Success rate for dark gold rank items is 60%, success rate for epic rank items is 10%. Casting time 5 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, consumes 1000 mana. Secondary profession skills do not occupy player skill slots. Holding the robe in his hand, he wondered, this time I should be able to appraise it, right? But contrary to his thoughts, the system displayed a notification, appraisal failed. Mubai said helplessly, failed? I'm that unlucky with a 10% chance? Mubai kept tapping the system to appraise repeatedly, but the notification kept showing, appraisal failed. He said angrily, I don't believe I'll stay this unlucky forever. Finally, Mubai also agreed to sit down on the grass and blurted out in frustration, how annoying. Suddenly, the system displayed a notification. A treasure chest has been detected in a desolate place. He looked toward the mountain, muttering that today was full of one surprise after another. If it was a treasure guarded by a high-level monster, then he would be rich. He went to take a look. Upon arriving, Mubai saw the chest placed in the middle of a pack of ferocious wolves that were snarling. He smirked, as expected, and immediately summoned his demons, proudly commanding, "Where are my brothers? Time to get to work." Demons immediately charged into a fight with the wolves, causing their stamina to deplete considerably. The smaller wolves had fallen. The alpha wolf suddenly let out a howl that echoed throughout the entire area. Right after, waves of wolves came from all directions. Mubai's eyes widened. What the hell was this? Were they trying to gang up on him? He didn't flinch and said coldly, well then, let's see which side has more numbers. As soon as Mubai finished speaking, the demons charged in simultaneously, knocking the wolves aside. The wolves were beaten to a pulp, only able to yelp in pain before falling helplessly to the ground. Mubai was pleased with himself. They all fell before he even needed to call for more help. The system displayed, defeated elite grassland evil wolf, enhanced level 10, received additional 50% reward, gained 450 experience points. Defeated silver tier boss grassland wolf king, level 10, received an additional 50% reward for level difference, gained 36,000 contribution points, received 1 gold coin, 38 silver coins, and 1 agility gem level 1. Received a beginner skill book. Congratulations, Bai Yi has leveled up to level 10. All 4 stats increased by 1, skill points increased by 1, free stat points increased by 15. As the first player to reach level 10, you have received the Leading the Way title. He walked to the treasure chest, wondering if he could upgrade it, and decided to try it out. He upgraded the chest. A notification immediately appeared. Upgrade successful. Mubai joyfully exclaimed, it worked. He shouted, activate, and a dazzling ray of light shone brilliantly. A notification displayed, detected an unlocked golden tier treasure chest. Do you wish to activate it? Activate, activate. Items appeared one by one, and the system reported, received golden tier equipment, decaying wood staff, and a golden tier treasure map. He exclaimed, oh, is that it? Just these 2 things? Mubai held the paper, continuously cheering when he saw the treasure map. The system told him it was a golden tier treasure map used for finding treasures. Would he like to use it to mark a route? Note, the endpoint is outside the novice village area. The system reminded him again, your level has reached the limit for the novice village. You need to find the village chief to transfer to the city, otherwise you will not gain any more experience. Mubai realized he couldn't stay here any longer. He walked while thinking about finding the village chief first and then deciding what to do next. The system announced that after upgrading the map, the destination was located in the desolate area of Jingli City. He was startled to hear that Jingli City was too far. It was no different from going abroad. At that moment, Hong Tu leisurely stepped out from the village gate. He saw everyone looking excited and pointing at something. A message from Novice Village 90527. Congratulations to the guild Overlord's ambition for clearing the dungeon Misty Bone Land on hard difficulty. We hope everyone will follow their example. Hong Tu spoke up, saying they should prepare thoroughly to conquer the next difficulty, Nightmare. The system displayed another message. Player Fujia has led her team to clear the dungeon Misty Bone Land on Nightmare difficulty. Hong Tu was furious when he saw they had beaten him to it. Hong Tu was annoyed and couldn't understand how they cleared the stage so fast, but Fujia just smiled lightly and answered, just lucky. One of the subordinates leaned close to Hong Tu's ear and whispered something. He gritted his teeth, furious because Bai Ye had good equipment and skill books but only sold them to Fujia. Hong Tu clenched his fists and grumbled a threat, vowing to teach anyone who dared to defy him a lesson. Fujia calmly organized her team to go farm in the hell difficulty, and everyone politely replied in unison. The system suddenly displayed a notification that caught her attention, announcement from the Blue Star region. While Hong Tu was still angrily staring at Fujia, the system announced again, congratulations to Bai Yi from the Divine Dragon Empire for becoming the first player in the Blue Star region to reach level 10. A generous reward has been received. Novice Village 90527 announces, the level leaderboard is now officially active. Bai Yi is at the top with level 10, followed by Feng Yi, away, woke up, still sleepy, Fujia, Hua Tang, Hong Tu, one sword cuts throat, chicken rice cake, and white milk. Hong Tu turned his back and left, grumbling without forgetting to say, don't get too cocky, just you wait. Hua Tang admired Bai Yi's leveling speed, and Feng Ye also nodded in agreement, feeling he leveled up like a rocket, since he was only level 8 before the trade. Fu Jia thought to herself, since she had gotten the Soul Fate Stone, she should give it to Bai Yi, because someone like that needed to be kept on good terms. She decided to make a trip back, and everyone replied in unison, okay. When she met Mu Bai again, Fu Jia happily greeted him, brother Bai Yi. She handed him a pouch of money, explaining that it was the first-time reward for completing the mission along with 10 basic Soul Fate Stones, and didn't forget to remind him to think of her when he got good items later. Two shook hands. Fu Jia confidently promised that the price would be to his satisfaction, and Mu Bai frankly said as long as there was money, good items would never be in short supply. The agreement was made, and she smirked and said with admiration, just as I thought. Mu Bai turned to leave, telling Fu Jia to remember to contact him once she had left the novice village. He looked at the scenery for a moment, but in his heart, he still believed that maintaining a good relationship with this person was absolutely the right thing to do. Stopping in front of a house, Mu Bai muttered that he guessed this was the place he needed to be when the village chief stepped out, surprised that someone had leveled up so quickly. He spoke to the village chief, saying that he wanted to leave the novice village. The elder nodded and led Mu Bai inside, talking as he walked that this was the God-forbidden land, and sooner or later it would belong to the chosen ones like him. The village chief pointed to a glowing area, explaining that this village was directly under the East Sea domain. An image of a city appeared. It was one of the 10 largest first-tier main cities of the Divine Dragon Empire, and also the most prosperous port city. As he stepped into the middle of the glowing area, his body was enveloped by rings of energy, and he heard the village chief say that reaching the East Sea domain was the real beginning. He thanked him and promised to return and repay the kindness if fate allowed. After everything was done, the village chief walked away slowly with his cane, letting out a deep, meaningful sigh. He muttered about the troubled times of the God-forbidden land approaching, unsure how many lives would be lost. The scene shifted elsewhere. Ruyan and Zhao were walking together when he suddenly spoke up, mentioning someone. Zhao asked Ruyan whether Bai Yi was really Mu Bai. She looked annoyed upon hearing this and said there was no need to care about it. Ruyan acted coquettishly, flaunting her allure, and confidently said that if he was really strong, then he would not be able to escape her grasp once they met. Mu Bai had been teleported to the East Sea domain, and he couldn't help but marvel that this world was too real, then walked while grumbling that there was no reward for leaving the novice village. Suddenly, the system showed a notification. Death Codex has increased to level 10. Mu Bai exclaimed in surprise and joy. The book's information appeared clearly. Death Codex. Special item of Bai Yi. No drop, no damage, no trade, binds to character, level 10. Magic power equals to plus 300. All stats plus 100. Damage to wind spirit creatures doubled. Special effect, Soul Absorption. Killing a target absorbs its power. Monsters cannot resurrect for a long time. Players killed will suffer double penalties, including lifespan. After level 30, the second effect will be unlocked. He found it interesting because the double penalties even allowed the learning of exclusive skills. Mu Bai opened the book, and a series of fantastical characters were absorbed into his mind, and the system announced he had learned a new skill, Death Gaze. He held his head and complained about the numbing feeling like he was dying when learning the skill. It was truly too damn painful. The system explained the SSS skill, stare at a target to burn its soul, dealing true damage per second for 10 seconds, along with a fear effect and a reduction of all attributes of the enemy. Cooldown time 60 seconds, range 100 meters. Mu Bai's eyes widened in astonishment, thinking to himself that this Death Gaze basically meant killing someone with a single look, right? This was truly perverted. From the spatial gate, a figure stepped out with a voice full of hidden meaning. I didn't expect that among the chosen ones, there would be someone who awakened this power. This kid is both lucky and unlucky. Mu Bai quickly bowed his head respectfully and greeted, City Lord Situ. He looked at him, confirming that the power of death had transferred classes to the Lord profession, a class that should not appear in the God-forbidden land. Mu Bai was inwardly surprised that his hidden class had been seen through. He offered an item, saying that the path ahead of him would be more difficult than for other lords. Mu Bai was puzzled, and he replied that it was a trial. If he passed, he would be given important information. A series of notifications appeared. Received quest item, Badge of the Forgotten. S-rank quest, Situ's trial, to pass through the Forgotten Land and achieve 100% exploration. Failure penalty, none. He was surprised, wondering if he had just picked up an S-rank quest, and when he looked up, the man had already disappeared. The item vibrated, and the system announced a countdown of 4 minutes and 58 seconds before teleportation. Mu Bai panicked because there was no time to prepare, and he still wanted to attach gems to his equipment. He dazedly wondered who knew where the teleportation formation to that land was. Right after, he was taken to a desolate and bleak place. The system announced entry into the Forgotten Land, and the S-rank quest, Situ's trial, officially began with a 72-hour time limit. Mu Bai was startled and blurted out, "What, I have to clear this place within 72 hours? As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately summoned warrior skeletons, telling himself he should call out more underlings for a sense of safety. From a vortex of light, a wave of skeletons flew out. This was Frost Mist Mage with a spirit of 5080, agility of 5080, and physique of 5080, health 20,640, magic power 1060, physical defense 106093. Skill Fireball Art level 9, conjuring a fireball dealing fire-type magic damage equal to 220% of magic power. Mubai laughed joyfully, having more underlings with Fireball Art. This time the firepower was even stronger than before. Suddenly, rows of dry skeletons rose from the ground. He wondered what kind of devilish thing this was. Witnessing this scene, he exclaimed, had the entire town turned into this? Information appeared. Level 20 dry skeleton, common, health 5000. He cried out in surprise, all of them being level 20. Regaining his composure, Mubai waved his hand to command, the whole team attacks. A notification appeared, eliminated level 20 dry skeleton, received 50% over-level bonus, experience plus 30 points, leader activated, received 6 more points. Mubai wondered why a level 20 monster gave less experience than a level 10 wild bull. Received 50% over-level bonus, experience plus 30, leader activated, received 6 more. A thought crossed his mind, he muttered, let's try the new skill, Death Gaze. Mubai used the skill, a powerful wave of spiritual energy blasted the skeletons away. System reported, eliminated level 20 dry skeleton, received over-level reward, experience plus 30, leader activated, received 6 more. He kicked a skull and said, done, but they are all bones with souls. After that, Mubai rubbed his hands gleefully and said, no more being polite, time to refill my mana, absorbing death energy. In the death cannon, the current soul points were 0. Mubai muttered in confusion, what is going on? Suddenly, a voice came from afar, this is the Forgotten Land, souls have long been imprisoned. He startled and cried out, who is there? He spoke up to introduce himself, I am Luo Day, the Forgotten One. Luo Day, special elite, level 20 soul body, health 100,000, immune to physical damage, detection rate 10%. He sighed and asked, what does the curse mean? Luo De broke into a cold sweat and explained, to collect souls, the curse must be lifted. Mubai frowned and asked, how do we lift it? He pointed ahead to where a pillar of light stood, that is a rotting coffin. Inside it, a grotesque figure is sealed. Mubai remarked, terrifying indeed, let's go take a look. Standing before it, he said, even all the underlings are scared. What is so strange about this coffin? The system displayed, soul-locking coffin, shield value 1 million. He discovered the soul-locking coffin, detection rate increased by 2%. Luo De shouted, this is the place, destroy it. He said calmly, a fearsome existence, let's see how fearsome it is. Mubai ordered the skeleton mages, you lot, smash it for me. They immediately attacked the coffin, trying to break the chains. Under fierce attacks, its health gradually depleted. When the coffin shattered, the Soul Emperor cried out, he is out, he has come out. A grotesque figure appeared along with its information. The Forgotten One, Neo, half-bone frostwhite, level 20, dark gold boss. Health 1,500,000, magic power 12,800. He wanted to become a white but had failed halfway. Neo angrily said, outsiders have ruined my transformation. He said with interest, your body is full of death energy. Mubai replied calmly, absorb me. Who taught you to say that? He ordered the Frost Mist Mage, little squad, go for me. Immediately, they all charged into battle. Being attacked, Neo raised his hand to defend but was not afraid at all. He pulled out an arrow and said, didn't expect so many dry bones. He swung his hand fiercely. The skeletons shattered, roaring, watch me smash them. Arrows continued to fly in one after another. Neo was a bit surprised, but he was gathering a large amount of energy. When the attack came, he raised his hand to form a shield, frost barrier. He asked, who exactly are you? Why can you summon so many strong spirit creatures? Neo's eyes flashed with a furious green flame. Then he summoned, come out, my servants. The system displayed, Grudge Golem, level 20, health 50,000. The ugly creature was stitched together from various corpses. The devils began to rise from the ground with dark aura. Level 20, Corpse Eater, health 80,000, skill Gnawing Bite, its mouth always reeking of a foul stench. Seeing that, Mubai covered his nose and complained, why does it smell so bad? He muttered angrily, I have to let them taste the new skill, Death Gaze. Hit by the ultimate move, Neo froze. The system reported he had used Death Gaze on the Forgotten One, Neo, whose life level is higher, all attributes reduced by 40%. Mubai thought to himself, could the Death Lord profession have upgraded his life level? His strength waning, Neo fell to his knees, crying out in disbelief, how is this possible? Mubai coldly turned away, ordering the skeleton squad, clean up this mess of rotten fish and shrimp. Standing before Neo, he said clearly, finish them all for me. The attributes continuously being reduced made him scream, no, I cannot be forgotten. As Neo gradually dissipated, the system rang out, eliminated level 20 dark gold boss, received 50% experience bonus plus 750,000. Era Transcendence activated, plus 150,000. Congratulations to Bai Yi for leveling up to level 12, 4D plus 1, skill points plus 1, free attribute points plus 15. Mubai was both surprised and excited, done already, nice, one hit straight to level 12. At this moment, the system announced, you have received a dark gold item, Primal Tortoise Crown Fragment 1. He held the shiny fragment in his hand, Primal Tortoise Crown Fragment 1 of 7, dark gold grade item. Collecting all will trigger its restoration, the wearer will be cursed. Mubai looked dejected, small monsters didn't drop items, the boss was stingy, but at least it's a dark gold fragment. Suddenly, Luode appeared and shouted, startling him, you are so powerful, you actually helped Neo be freed. Let's hurry to rescue the next one. He got into a ready stance, follow me, it's just ahead. This time, it might not be so easy. Mubai wondered, you mean there are more people? Hearing this, he complained, what does that mean? If it's too dangerous, I'm not going. Seeing Mubai hesitant, Luode quickly reassured him, don't worry. He flew over and offered a scroll. I have a skill book here, a gift for you. He immediately asked, if you had a skill book, why didn't you bring it out earlier? When he opened it, the system rang, Explosion Art C Level 1, active skill, detonate to kill the target, dealing magic damage to enemies within a 5-meter radius. Damage equals 10% of target's health plus 100% of magic power. Mubai's pupils widened, Explosion Art, area damage, excellent. He watched the resources flowing in continuously and was excited. Upgrade successful. Explosion art skill upgraded to high grade B level, dealing magic damage to enemies within a 10-meter radius. Damage equals 15% of health plus 150% of magic power. In an instant, a huge explosion occurred ahead, sending dust and sand flying. At this moment, he couldn't help but exclaim, such power, and the area is so large. Beside him, Luode couldn't hide his excitement. Bai Ye, you are the strongest man I have ever seen. Mubai replied, I don't believe a word of your ghost talk. Let's go. An hour later, Mubai was fully prepared. This forgotten land is indeed vast. His eyes were sharp and smug. Counting this one, he would be the 7th. The next second, Mubai used a move that caught Walter off guard, Explosion Art. He screamed in despair, no, this can't be. No one can kill the Forgotten One. With a single hit, Walter fell and dropped the fragment. Mubai bent down to pick it up and realized he had gathered all 7 fragments. Let's see what equipment it can combine into. In the distance, Luode shouted in panic, don't combine that cursed thing, you'll be corroded by it. But it was too late because he had already combined the fragments. What nonsense are you talking about now? Seeing that, Luode seemed to collapse. It's over. At this moment, the system rang out. You have received a legendary item, Primal Tortoise Crown, current exploration rate 50%. Mubai remarked, indeed, after leveling up, the item tier increased by 1 level. Luode kept warning, throw it away now, or you'll be corroded by the death energy and eventually become a living corpse. He lost patience and ran over to shake his shoulders. Bai Yi, why are you still standing there? Throw it away now. At this moment, the system warned, you are being corroded by the death energy from the cursed crown. Both Mubai and Luode were panicked. What is happening? Is there an even more terrifying enemy? Skeleton squad, defensive formation. From the ground, streams of magic power continuously surged out, making him scream in horror, it's him, it's him. The system rang out. The breath of the Primal Tortoise Crown has awakened the witch doctor Franklin, who is sleeping beneath the Forgotten Land. Luode warned, it was he who cursed us, turning this place into the Forgotten Land. Bai Ye, I beg you to help me kill this beast Franklin. The system displayed, accepted Luode's unique hidden quest, kill the witch doctor Franklin. He nodded, fine, I'll help you. Taking advantage of Mubai's momentary lapse, Luode rushed straight into the center of his forehead. He received the blessing of the soul possession, spirit increased by 20%. Luode shouted, thank you, Franklin is terrifyingly strong, I will fight alongside you. Amid the dense sea of mana, Franklin slowly emerged. The Forgotten One Franklin, a level 20 Frostwhite, severely wounded and reduced in level. As an Executioner class boss with 15 million health, spell power of 48,000, physical defense of 5,000, and magical defense of 8,000, he possessed 35% frost resistance, 30% obsession resistance, 25% death resistance, and specialized in obsession and death spells. Despite his wounded soul, he remained a true wight that could not be underestimated. He rose into the air, mana covering the entire sky. He spoke hoarsely, saying the pitiful wretch from back then was still alive. He could feel the king's power recovering. He reached out his hand, calling for his crown to return to its master. Suddenly, he was in a panic. This was impossible. Why was his crown not responding to his call? Mubai sneered with satisfaction, saying the item in his hand had nothing to do with him. He unhesitatingly placed it on his head. Now that I wear it, does it look good to you? A system window appeared. The Turtle Crown, level 10, a legendary defense item, durability 1000 out of 1000. Requirement, the Forgotten One Franklin. The Lord of Death is immune to this requirement. Forcibly equipped. Killing the target will return the condition to normal. Basic attributes, level 15, physical defense 100, magical defense 200, health 2000, energy 4000. All attributes increase by 70. Passive power of the turtle. Spells have a chance to attach a random turtle effect, lasting 5 seconds, cooldown 5 seconds. Turtle aura reduces enemy speed by 30% within 100 meters, costing 200 energy per second. Seeing this, he roared in fury, commanding the Obsession Knights to advance. Appearing were a group of level 20 obsession knights, summoned creatures. They had 200,000 health, attack power of 6,800, and defense of 1,800. They possessed the skills Charge, Strength, and Obsession Shield. Mubai calmly remarked that the minions of an epic grade boss were indeed a level higher than those of a dark gold grade boss. Want to play with minions? Let's see. Skeleton Squad, charge forward. No matter how much the knights attacked, the Skeleton Squad blocked it all. The clash stirred up thick dust. Not stopping there, Mubai continued to use the turtle aura. A large vortex appeared around him, reducing speed by 30%. Forget riding a horse, even driving would have to be abandoned like a lotus. Franklin gritted his teeth in anger, cursing. On the other side, Mubai smirked cunningly. Now at level 15, both the legendary items and the scripture greatly boosted his attributes. Compared to when he first arrived at the Forgotten Land, he had nearly doubled, only regretting the crown could not level up. Provoked, he attacked again, calling the human tired of living. He replied tersely, asking how to make him gasp for breath. Mubai's eyes lit up with satisfaction. The system chimed, using Death Gaze. Judging that the target's life level was higher, it cast the Curse of Agony, dealing obsession damage equal to 100% of spell power every second for 5 seconds. After the hit landed, Franklin couldn't believe it. He trembled in pain, wondering who this person really was. Mubai's face darkened as he replied mysteriously, saying his name was not something he needed to know. He darted away, causing Franklin to howl in rage. Unyielding, he continued to attack. Whoever you are, you will be buried today. Magic orbs surrounded him, his body rising into the midst of a whirlwind. The fierce whirlwind swept away everything in its path. Franklin concentrated all his power, intending to kill the human and seize his strength. He reached out his hand, and Kakos appeared. The undead bone dragon Kakos, level 20, severely wounded. An epic grade boss with 20 million health, 12,000 attack, 1,000 physical defense, 6,000 magical defense, 30% death resistance, with the skills Cage of Sea Bones and Hell of White Bones. Current exploration progress 90%. Mubai marveled that he had even summoned a bone dragon. The trial from the East Sea City Lord was indeed not ordinary. Taking advantage of his momentary lapse, the horde of monsters surged forward. Mubai still managed to block, commanding a reinforcement to withstand the blow. Franklin couldn't believe that a skeleton warrior could block his bone dragon. He felt a little uneasy. The skeleton warrior gained a 640% strength boost from the scripture, dealing double damage to undead creatures, creating millions of devastating damage. The system reported absorbing death and consuming death energy. The system chimed again, eroded by the crown's curse. The death energy value increased. Mubai suspected this was just a power bank, but his eyes turned sharp again, saying he would show him what he was made of next. Franklin continued to attack relentlessly, cursing the damned human race. He slammed his staff hard into the ground, casting the frozen hell. Power surged toward Mubai, blasting him far away. He smiled in satisfaction, believing this lethal blow would surely kill the fragile human. But seeing him still unharmed, he panicked, asking if he knew how to share life. He attacked madly, saying sharing life still had its flaws. Franklin raised his staff high, condensing a magic rose, casting Death Spirit Summoning. Each beam of light that fell summoned a monstrous beast, binding the bones tightly. In the blink of an eye, Mubai was surrounded in a hell of white bone. His pupils widened, sweat streaming down his face. Trying to use a wide area skill to break my life force? Mubai quickly assumed an offensive stance. I withdrew the unenhanced dry bones into the summoning space. Let's see how you break through this. He quickly calculated, catching the leader was the key, and went straight for him. This scene surprised Franklin for a moment. Every passing second, Mubai's points continuously decreased, but he only gritted his teeth and endured, just a little more. After a bout of fighting, he slumped to the ground and shouted, "Hateful human, you have lost." Yet Mubai remained completely unharmed. Lost? Are you joking? Use your life force value to enhance me. Franklin could only flee, screaming, impossible. But before he could run, Franklin vanished. The system chimed, announcing the body of the Forgotten One had been destroyed, granting an additional 70% experience, totaling 12,750,000. Congratulations to player Bai Yi for leveling up to level 17, receiving 1 wisdom point, 1 skill point, and 15 free attribute points. The beasts vanished one by one with the system's chime. Defeated epic tier boss level 20, Undead Bone Dragon Carcass, gaining an additional 70% experience. Congratulations to Bai Yi for reaching level 19, becoming the first player in the Blue Star region to solo an epic tier boss with an attractive reward. Mubai recovered his strength, jumping to level 19 in one go and getting 50 soul stones as a gift. What a joy. He clenched the shard in his hand and marveled. They all upgraded to high-grade soul stones. The system reported receiving 50 high-grade fate soul stones, each adding 1 year of lifespan. Mubai absorbed them all, increasing his lifespan by 50 years, surpassing 51. He was extremely excited because the lifespan crisis was finally resolved. Elsewhere, the system announced that Bai Yi of the Divine Dragon Empire had become the first player to solo an epic tier boss. The girl was startled. Fujia remarked that it was just like a big shot. Away added that they felt something was missing all night without hearing any news. Ruyan said proudly that whether it was Bai Yi or Mubai, they would have to kneel at the hem of her skirt. At this moment, Mubai's eyes lit up at the sight of a necklace. The system reported acquiring a special epic tier item, the Dragon Skull Necklace. The Dragon Skull necklace could summon an epic tier undead bone series mount. He was thrilled. With this he could ride a flying beast, and if he upgraded it, it would be even better. The system announced the upgrade successful, obtaining a legendary tier Frostbone horn. Blowing it could summon the Frostbone ancient dragon mount from the spirit realm. Mubai felt it was amazing and blew the horn to test it. Every sound it made generated powerful magic force. Even Mubai was surprised by the thick, deathly aura it created. Suddenly, a creature appeared with a shout, "Foolish human." The Frostbone ancient dragon crawled out from the gate, asking why its summoner was so weak. But the next moment, it froze and couldn't move, confusing him. That was the punishment of the purifying light. Mubai stepped back in shock, yelling, "Purifying light, don't touch me." Yet the Frostbone ancient dragon suddenly knelt obediently, calling him master. He submitted, kneeling before him, willing to be his mount. The system confirmed the mount space activation, receiving the legendary tier Frostbone ancient dragon. A regional announcement for Earth resonated, saying the mount leaderboard opened earlier than expected. It automatically shrank and climbed onto Mubai's shoulder, while the Earth region's mount leaderboard had appeared. He smirked proudly. Mounts have a leaderboard too. Does that mean they also have skills? The system panel displayed, first place Bai Ye with the legendary tier Frostbone Ancient Dragon, second and third place both empty. Mubai looked at the creature in his hand and wondered, is this the strength of a mythic tier creature? Scene change. Everyone was shocked upon seeing the announcement of the mount leaderboard. One person remarked, the god Bai Ye really has a mythic tier Frostbone Ancient Dragon. The person beside him doubted they were even playing the same game. That guy spoke up, saying stop comparing with Bai Ye. He just saw his boss at level 3 with an F-grade talent. His friend laughed lightly, feeling much better, saying these people with darkened hearts and money have no value here anyway. Back at Mubai's location, Luo ran over breathlessly, reporting he had sensed the location of the life box. He curiously asked where. The old man pointed forward and said to follow. Mubai followed Luo's guidance forward. Ahead, an item appeared, Franklin's epic tier life box with 1 million durability. This was a meticulously crafted life-saving treasure containing a soul flame. As long as the box remained intact, the warlock would never die. He picked it up, marveling at the terrifying durability. Luo suddenly shouted, demanding to shift his form to finish this guy off, but Mubai refused, saying a mere remnant soul couldn't do anything. The old man, unceremoniously, snatched the life box away, saying the people he harmed would show him his end. Franklin screamed in panic, no, no. Second later, Luo was moved, thanking him for what he had done for Luoyang town. He sobbed, spoke his final words, and then vanished. The system chimed repeatedly, receiving 1,000 soul points, defeating a level 20 boss, leveling up to 20, completing a hidden quest, gaining gold and many precious items. Mubai said the quest was complete and conveniently reached level 20. Let's go. Shortly after, Mubai stepped out of the teleportation gate in East Sea City's plaza. He smiled contentedly because no other players were here yet. They probably hadn't reached level 10. Then he looked at the Frostbone Ancient Dragon on his shoulder, deciding to test out his mount first. He shouted the summoning call, come out, Frostbone Ancient Dragon. When it returned to its original form, Mubai spoke up, suggesting they go find Situ to turn in the quest. He stood upright on its back as it spread its wings and soared into the sky. Every time the Frostbone Ancient Dragon flew by, everyone had to gasp in astonishment. Situ, watching from a distance, had to admit, this kid far exceeded his data. Mubai quickly arrived at his location, about to greet him, but the old man immediately waved his hand, telling him to shrink the beast. He turned his back and said coldly, this old man can't stand its torment here. And he led him inside, saying his class was not simply the Lord. Mubai asked what he meant. Just after sitting down, he asked directly if the Lord class had ranks. Situ replied that he wasn't entirely sure either, but since he had passed the test, he would answer. The system confirmed the completion of the trial quest, making him think it was stingy. Situ raised a hand and explained in detail about class rarity levels across the myriad realms: common, hidden, unique hidden, and specialized hidden. His Death Lord class was the highest tier of specialized hidden, normally unreachable at this stage because it required level 29. Level 29 was when the first breakthrough opportunity appeared, and this was what puzzled him most. He told himself he couldn't reveal that he reached this level thanks to the system. The old man warned him not to get too excited. The stronger the class, the harder the breakthrough. Mubai seriously asked the city lord for guidance. Situ explained that to advance the Death Lord class, he must experience a certain number of deaths, and an upcoming great war would break out in the divine prohibited land, hoping he would travel to other countries to seek opportunities. Hearing this, Mubai was confused because the country borders weren't even open yet. Understanding his concern, Situ quickly guided him to find a certain person and gave him a letter, saying that person would help him cross the border. Looking at the picture, Mubai recognized it as Huai Jian. The system announced he had signed a contract with the Divine Dragon Hall and could only advance in another country. Violating it would cause him to be hunted. Situ stood up, took out something, and advised him to join the Divine Dragon Hall when he reached the 3 grand achievements. Situ handed over the item and instructed, with this, you will have an easier time in East Sea City. Mubai quickly accepted it and thanked the city lord. He looked at the item with delight, the EC token 0071 Lun, crafted by Situ himself, making him the owner of Villa number 007. He thought to himself, now he owned a house in a first-class city. Situ looked at him seriously and instructed, with this token, you can do almost anything in EC City. Mubai wondered if he could do anything, then his eyes gleamed dangerously, asking if he could kill people. The old man was slightly surprised by the question, asking him who he wanted to kill. Clenched the token with a resentful look, just a few enemies that need dealing with. After the exchange ended, Mubai rode the Frostbone Frost Dragon away. Arriving at ECC City, he looked around and remarked that this was the first time he observed it closely. This place wasn't small, almost as big as the Divine Dragon Nation's capital. When they arrived, it landed to let Mubai jump off. He confirmed this was the place. At that moment, two guards approached and blocked him, saying private courtyard, no entry. Mubai lightly tossed the token towards them. One guard caught it and inspected it carefully. He put his hands in his pockets and walked forward leisurely. Can I enter now? The two guards bowed their heads respectfully, so it's Lord Baiyi, of course you may enter. Stepping inside, Mubai remarked, the city lord is quite generous after all. An unexpected notification rang out, asking if he wanted to name it. He paused for a moment. It seemed this thing also needed a name. After thinking for a while, he decided to call it Baiyi Manor. Immediately, a panel appeared before him. Respected master of Baiyi Manor, welcome home. Now, this place had become his teleport and respawn point in EC City. Mubai didn't hesitate and walked straight inside. This place didn't need any repairs, just bring the items and move in. He quickly sat down on the comfortable chair, taking the opportunity to rest for a bit and learn some new skills. Mubai flipped through the pages of the book, rubbing his chin in thought. The 1,000 soul points were spent just on identifying items and were already depleted. Suddenly, he found an instruction. Learn the new skill, Death Leap, an active SSS rank skill that could traverse the void of death. Body moves as willed, uses the deathly void as a stepping stone to instantly teleport to a designated location and remove negative effects. After teleporting, he is protected by the power of death, immune to all damage. Allied units can pass through freely, while those not designated cannot touch the barrier. Attacks pass through them while the barrier is active, and allies passing through will not die. Even if their life reaches 0, they can continue fighting. The skill releases instantly. The leap's cooldown is 15 seconds, consuming a maximum of 1% mana. The cast range is within 200 meters. The death barrier has a 120-second cooldown, consumes 1% mana per second, and lasts up to 30 seconds within a 500-meter range. Reading this, Mubai's eyes lit up. Instant teleportation, this was exactly the skill he was lacking. Without wasting a single second, he quickly acted. Another SSS rank skill, he definitely had to go test its effectiveness right away. He didn't hesitate to step into the teleportation gate. Seeing Mubai appear, the guard was a bit surprised. Lord Baiyi, he quickly reassured him. Don't be nervous, I'm just testing a skill. At this moment, Mubai's eyes showed clear interest. He wondered if it could be linked to the summoning space. Suddenly, many fierce-looking monsters appeared before him. This scene made him unable to hide his excitement. It was even stronger than he imagined. Couldn't he directly designate the Undead Legion like this? Truly invincible. The only downside was that SSS rank skills could not be leveled up further. Then Mubai extended his hand to restore mana, planning to go exchange some money and then plan his next move. He went to the shops to look for gemstones. The shop owner happily waved her hand. Young man, if you find more gemstones in the future, feel free to come find me anytime. At each shop he passed, Mubai managed to buy more. He walked down the street, unable to hide his satisfaction. Not bad, buying level 3 and 4 stones, upgrading them once, and then selling them back. I've already earned over 200,000. I'm a real profiteer. He thought further. Now let's go to the auction house and see if they have any good items. At this moment, Mubai's footsteps headed towards a certain place. Stepping inside the magnificent palace, he appeared extremely pleased. One look was enough to know this was a place to spend money. Suddenly, Xiao Yu appeared, blocking Mubai's path. I'm sorry, sir, the second floor is reserved for the auction. She pointed at the sign and said, you need to purchase an entry ticket to go upstairs. He read the instructions once and did some mental calculations. The cheapest kind cost 1,000 gold coins, the most expensive up to 100,000. He thought to himself, wondering how expensive the auction items here were. Then, Mubai presented his token. Does this get me a discount? Xiao Yu quickly realized that this was an important guest of the city lord. Very quickly, she brought out a card. Mr. Baiyi, this card belongs to you. She added, FIP card number 007. Whenever the EC auction house holds an auction, you will receive a notification. You can use the card to teleport instantly to VIP room number 007. He was slightly surprised. For free? Xiao Yu replied, of course, the EC auction house is property of the city lord. Therefore, you will be treated as a VIP guest when you come here. She also added, you will receive a 50% discount on processing fees for consigned and auctioned items. Furthermore, if he was short on money at the auction, they could provide an interest-free loan of up to 10,000 soul coins. The more Mubai heard, the more surprised he was. Soul coins? He asked, what's the exchange rate between soul coins and gold coins? Xiao Yu immediately explained in detail. Usually, one soul coin is equivalent to 10,000 gold coins. She further explained, Each soul coin contains a small amount of time energy equivalent to 1 hour of lifespan, requiring a special method to accumulate. As for Fate Soul Stones, they are extracted from soul coins by experts using time energy. Hearing this, Mubai silently marveled. It seemed that in the deep Forbidden Palace, soul coins were the only truly valuable currency. He then asked rapidly about the items. Xiao Yu replied, "Of course, based on experience, each level 1 gemstone is equivalent to about 9 or 10 soul coins. The auction house would charge a 10% commission on the total value, but he only needed to pay 5%. Less than a second later, Mubai decisively spoke. "Please auction all these items for me and transact in soul coins." Xiao Yu immediately replied, "Yes, I will go arrange it right away." At that moment, a sound rang out. "You have a new message." He quickly paused, wondering who had sent him a message. Outside, a group of people were stepping out of the teleportation gate. Hua Tang looked around, unable to hide his excitement. "This is ECC City. Where do we go to meet Lord Bai Yi?" Suddenly, Wei exclaimed when he saw the bone ice worm flying overhead. "Look quickly, that's the giant dragon." He also quickly realized, amazing, ECC City actually has a bone ice worm. Feng Yi looked at their stunned expressions and asked, "Don't you guys remember what Bai Yi's mount is?" Hua Tang instinctively asked, "Oh, I wonder when we'll get a mount that powerful." Immediately after, Mubai jumped down from the back of the bone ice worm. "Not bad, its level is even faster than ambition." Fu Jia spoke up. "We must thank Brother Bai Yi for selling us the equipment." She tossed a bag of money towards him. "Brother Bai Yi, please forgive me, I'm only now paying the rest." Mubai replied politely, "It's fine, feel free to explore East Sea City. I'll be going now." Suddenly, he paused slightly when he heard Fu Jia speak. "Brother Bai Yi, wait." She handed him a scroll and said, "I think you might be interested in this." Fu Jia silently marveled. SS rank talent truly couldn't be underestimated. The money tree could actually produce something this good. Inside the scroll was an instruction. "Scroll of Fate, epic rank item. Upon use, you will have one chance to toss a lucky coin." Mubai smiled with interest. From a gambler's perspective, isn't this a 100% win? He asked directly. "How much to sell it?" But Fu Jia just slightly shook her head in refusal. "Not for sale." She pointed at Mubai and suggested, "Brother Bai Yi, I have no other intention. I just want to use this opportunity to achieve deeper cooperation with you." He was also willing to negotiate. "Go on, what kind of deeper cooperation?" While they were discussing, Hong Tu stepped out from the teleportation gate. "You guys actually chose to come to East Sea City first." He urged them, "Let's go." He thought to himself, it seemed that during this period, groups of players with S-rank talents would successively flock to East Sea City. He wondered if that pair of male and female players were also about to arrive. As they stepped out of the teleportation gate, someone exclaimed in admiration, "This is East Sea City." They finally left the novice village. Fu Jia curiously asked, "Brother Bai Yi, what's wrong?" Mubai said calmly, "Summon skeletal warriors, surround this place." He commanded, "Obey my orders, surround the teleportation square, don't let a single person out." Hua Tang exclaimed in astonishment, "Are all these elite skeletal warriors summoned by Lord Bai Yi?" Fu Jia reminded, "Don't act rashly, Brother Bai Yi definitely has his reasons. Let's just wait and see for now." Those few men angrily demanded, "Bai Yi, what are you trying to do? On what basis are you surrounding us? Let us out quickly. All my stats have dropped by 20%. Mubai demanded of them. "Everyone, don't be nervous. I need your cooperation for something. If you want to leave, you can only go through this exit one by one." Those few men retorted, "Who do you think you are? This is the City Lord's territory. What are you pretending for?" "That's right. Try to make a move and see." Their answer was a clean streak of sword light. The others seeing this were shocked. "When did he make his move?" "I don't know. I didn't see it at all." "This is too terrifying. Maybe several years of lifespan are gone too." Mubai asked coldly, "Anyone else have any objections?" At the East Sea City teleportation square, he sat on the bone dragon and announced loudly, "If no one has any objections." The line of people growing longer in front of the teleport gate. He declared, "Then let's begin. If anyone has no problems, they can leave this place." A telepathic message arrived asking what was going on. The newcomers were Zhao Su and Ru Yan. One of the impatient men cursed, "No eyes? Can't you see there's a big shot looking for someone?" The two of them were stunned. It really is him. Mubai is Bai Ye. He also heard it clearly. This voice sounded familiar. They had finally appeared. Zhao Shu flattered. "Ruyan, we can continue to enjoy ourselves in the 10,000 Worlds game because of you," she said arrogantly. "This young lady can easily get it with just one move." Ruyan began to act deeply, her eyes glistening with tears as she called out, "Mubai." Seeing him land, she hurried over to greet him. Mubai's face darkened. He commanded, "Disperse. Everyone disperse." The people around were in an uproar. "Disperse quickly. If I get affected later, I'll lose 20 years of lifespan." "Who cares? Let's just watch the show." I'm not saying anything either. He can't kill me, right? If you want to watch, then watch. But I'm afraid watching the show will turn into a commotion. Well, I want to watch too, but I'm a little scared. Ruyan immediately started complaining upon seeing him. Mubai, I've had such a hard time finding you. He said nonchalantly, what a coincidence, me too. Zhao Shu stepped forward and said glibly, Mr. Su, you don't know something. Miss Liu has nearly turned the entire novice village upside down looking for you. He said nonchalantly, oh, is that so? The man forced a smile and replied, it's me, I wouldn't dare lie to you. Looking at the man's expression, he muttered disdainfully, Zhao Shu, that day when you tore off my oxygen mask, weren't you very arrogant then? Mubai pointed at him. Brothers, show him what's what. Zhao Shu asked in panic. Mr. Su, what is the meaning of this? He growled. It's just a fitting reward for your loyalty to me. Beat him to death for me. Ruyan was stunned. Mubai, what are you doing? Seeing the group rushing to beat him, she thought in fear. Mubai, is he trying to beat Zhao Shu to death? Zhao Shu, beaten until his face was covered in blood, pleaded, Mr. Su, it's all a misunderstanding. He mocked him. What does the feeling of death feel like? A murderous aura emanated from Mubai. Do you want to experience it? A streak of sword light slashed through his body, and fresh blood gushed out profusely. The notification displayed, your friend Suri Dongji was killed by Bai Ye. Ruyan couldn't believe it. Zhao Shu was actually killed by him. He turned his attention to her. Next, it's your turn, Ruyan. Weren't you always looking for me? Why are you running away from me now? Ruyan replied in panic. No, I'm just a little scared. Ruyan was extremely terrified inside. How much does he actually know, or does he know everything? It can't be. Fujia spoke up. Brother Bai Yi, let's go quickly. The city guard is here. A person walked over to him and reminded him, Lord Bai Yi, the commotion today is a bit too big. He immediately ordered, I'm fine here, go do your work, I'll contact you later. Fujia complied. Okay, contact me if anything happens, we'll go ahead. Mubai said apologetically to the newcomer, I'm sorry for causing trouble for you all. The other person said respectfully, you are an important guest of the city lord, but the commotion just now was indeed a bit too big, so I didn't know how to explain it. He assured, don't worry, I found who I was looking for, it will be over very soon. Mubai raised his hand, setting up a formation. After that, he grabbed her by the collar. Ruyan, we're not done yet. Come, follow me to the resurrection hall. This person sighed, watching him ride the bone dragon and fly away. It seemed this young Master Su still had more tricks in store at the resurrection hall. Afterward, this person ordered subordinates to go to the resurrection hall. It was a bustling market district. Just maintain good order, nothing else to worry about. Everyone echoed in unison. Understood. At the resurrection hall of the East Sea City, Zhao Shu revived, losing 10 years of his lifespan. He gritted his teeth and endured it, cursing Mubai inwardly. Ruyan was desperately pleading with Mubai to let her explain, but he ignored her. When Zhao Su saw him approach, he hurried forward to greet him, and Mubai coldly asked him how the feeling of death was. The woman clung to his leg, crying, blaming all the faults on others, swearing her 5 years of feelings remained unchanged, only hoping he would trust her. Mubai cut her off, saying he would return all of the 5 years of feelings, and called her a venomous snake, deserving of death. Ruyan trembled, tears welling up in her eyes, begging for mercy. Zhao Su stood watching, his heart filled with worry, knowing everything had gone terribly wrong. He fell to his knees, tremblingly admitting his mistakes, begging for leniency. Mubai replied calmly, is that so? He stepped on the man's face, forcing him to pay with his life. Zhao Shu was crushed to the ground, struggling to plead for mercy. Mubai knew the rules well. After death, if one did not self-resurrect, they would only last for 30 minutes. That couple truly was a case of evil begetting evil. Half an hour later, Ruyan resurrected, losing 10 years of lifespan. She begged Mubai for mercy, afraid that if she died again, she would have no chance to live. Mubai brought up the past, asking her if pulling out his oxygen tube felt similar to the current situation. He kicked her away, saying that killing her would only dirty his hands, and told her to get lost. After venting his anger, Mubai took a deep breath, savoring the feeling of successful revenge. The people around him offered comfort, and he replied that the couple had received their due punishment. Then they each retreated one by one. Mubai calculated his new plans, intending to go shopping for equipment and earn more gold coins. He crossed through a teleportation gate to another place, suddenly realizing that buying and selling for profit was truly too time-consuming. Right then, he received a message from Fujia asking to meet. Mubai cheerfully went to an upscale restaurant. Once seated at the table, Fujia straightforwardly proposed a business partnership based on her strengths in making money. She analyzed the potential of the two of them, wanting to establish a merchant guild, and believed that with his strength, success was certain. Mubai declined direct partnership and instead suggested she become his agent, while placing a bag of spirit stones on the table. Fujia was astonished by the amount of resources he presented. He explained that his talent required consuming resources to upgrade items. She asked him again with doubt about this talent. Mubai offered her a percentage of the profits. Fujia demanded 10,000 gold coins to change her class, startling him. Fujia shyly proposed signing a soul contract, keeping only 5% of the profits in exchange for his help. Mubai was surprised by this offer. He looked at the detailed information on her S-rank wealth god talent and the conditions to advance to the hidden class. He understood she needed to surpass the 10,000 gold coin mark to activate her special ability. Mubai asked again, and she confirmed she had never been this serious. The two shook hands, officially becoming partners. The system announced the soul contract was successful. Fujia would manage all business matters and transfer the majority of assets to him. Bai gave her 10,000 gold coins for her class change. A surge of energy enveloped Fujia, and she officially advanced. He curiously asked about her new skills, and she replied she only had 2 skills. The first skill was Money Shield, creating a shield based on the amount of gold owned, with a limit and refreshing after a certain period. The second skill was a specialized item, increasing attributes and with the potential to unlock more upon reaching certain levels. Bai realized this was the characteristic item of the class. He marveled at her money tree, while Fujia was happy that the money tree was growing fast. The money tree shook gently, dropping some soul coins and a high-grade soul of fate stone. She handed the purple stone to him, wanting him to try using his talent to upgrade it. Bai accepted it and began. The system announced this rare gem could extend lifespan by 100 years, but would lose a portion upon death. Fujia's eyes widened, marveling at the value of that 100-year treasure. A series of new announcements appeared. Earth was ready for the official Myriad Realms game, leaderboards were opened, and his name topped the level list. Bai handed her a black card, the VIP card for the auction at East Sea City, and said he would transfer another piece of real estate for her to manage. Fujia asked where he planned to go next. He told her to go experience the auction, while he would go do some quests. At Silver Cascade Falls, Bai went to meet Huaijian to turn in a quest. The man teased him for completing the quest too quickly. Huaijian excitedly showed off a newly painted artwork, asking how he liked it. Bai praised it endlessly, calling the piece a masterstroke of ghostly charm, the most perfect of all time. Huaijian appreciated him, then realized he was the Lord of Death himself. Bai cheerfully took out 10,000 ancient gold coins to fulfill his duty. Huaijian instructed him to remember to find more good things like that, and he promised he would not forget. The old man channeled spiritual energy into him. The system announced the hidden quest was complete, and he received the temporary skill, Shadow Chasing Sword Chi. This skill could summon a shade containing a fraction of Huaijian's power for 1 minute, but he should not use it in the city as he might get arrested. He inwardly marveled at the man's hidden power. Bai presented a letter, wanting to ask a favor of him. Huaijian read it, understanding he wanted to cross the national border. He then created a teleportation gate. Bai asked worriedly, "Can he go right now?" The man nonchalantly replied, "What if not?" People around saw the strange phenomenon in the sky, discussing the border crossing. Fujia guessed her boss was about to get into something big again, while Hua Tang watched in awe. She immediately left, reminding him not to ask questions he should not ask. Bai followed Huaijian to the Tianqi Nation, a land filled with sunshine and flowers. Bai marveled at the beautiful scenery here. The old man asked him what there was to be surprised about. The system announced he was the first to cross the border. As there was no war, he was considered an invader, and all his attributes would be slightly reduced. Bai frowned, realizing this place was not entirely welcoming. Huaijian sped off, saying he had business to attend to, leaving him to fend for himself. He reluctantly strolled forward. If he could not enter the city, he might as well walk around. A large shadow suddenly loomed over him. Bai faced a massive magical beast, its level and health both showing as question marks. Panic struck him, unsure what he was facing. The monster lunged, creating a massive shockwave that sent him flying backward. Bai quickly regained his footing, immediately summoning his Bone Frost giant dragon to fight. The ancient dragon codex manifested itself majestically and imposingly on the battlefield. The demonic beast opened its maw and unleashed 2 streams of power, but the ancient dragon was not to be outdone. It immediately surged with colossal mana to meet the challenge. The 2 forces of energy collided violently, creating an earth-shattering explosion. The demonic beast was raising its sharp claws, preparing to launch an attack. Bai calmly guided the ancient dragon to soar upwards, charging straight into a confrontation with the monster. Its razor-sharp claws concealed a devastating and unpredictable power. The ancient dragon activated its death jump, instantly creating a sturdy ice barrier. Bai breathed a sigh of relief as his skill had leveled up, allowing him to approach his opponent from a distance. The 2-headed demonic beast warily observed its formidable foe. He gathered his strength, vowing to himself that he would make this monster regret its actions. From the summoning gates, countless grotesque monsters continuously appeared. The demonic beast halted, and Bai let out a cold laugh, declaring he would make the monster pay before leaping onto the ancient dragon. 2 of them shot off together, no longer playing a game of chase with that monster. He landed in the pear forest on the outskirts of the city's south side, where several people were discussing Bai Ye. They were determined to find that person and engage in a life-or-death battle. They wanted to teach the intruder a lesson about the might of the Heavenly Rise Kingdom. Bai scorned them, declaring he would introduce these lowlifes to his subordinates. Instantly, 2 colossal monsters appeared on the stage. Everyone was terrified. This was a desolate wasteland on the outskirts, so why were so many monsters appearing here? One of the skeletons, a mighty warrior, raised its sword and slashed down, cleaving in 2 a man who couldn't dodge in time. The remaining 2, panicked, retreated backwards, shouting that it was a skeleton warrior and everyone should run. Everyone was in a flurry, searching for Bai. Many declared they would kill Bai Yi for the bounty, while others still wondered what Bai Yi looked like. Elder Bai asked what had happened. A subordinate reported seeing 3 giant skeletal warriors, suspecting they belonged to Bai Ye. People speculated that if it were the Divine Dragon Kingdom, it would be too terrifying. Elder Bai thought this person was very strong and suggested informing the other players to come back and surround him. The man obeyed the order, thinking to himself that rushing in hastily would be ineffective. Let many people work together, and in the end, he would just deliver the finishing blow. At this moment, Mu Bai was leisurely lying on a high tree branch, observing the new group of people who had just arrived. He smiled faintly. Finally, they had come. A leader among them shouted loudly, challenging Bai Yi to come out and face him in a one-on-one duel, not hide like a coward. The one who just spoke was immediately hit, causing those around him to panic, not knowing what was happening. He had taken down one of them, losing 1% experience. Mu Bai snorted coldly, saying he would play a game with them. He summoned skeletal soldiers, letting them experience the feeling of despair when facing an army of bones. The group, seeing Mu Bai's formation was too strong, began to worry as the skeletal warriors appeared again. The leader rallied everyone to charge forward together, determined to kill Bai Ye. The Frost Warrior swung its sword, shattering a stream of power, causing the enemy to scream in terror for help. The man regained his composure, surprised to find himself still alive. Everyone realized these skeletons weren't all that powerful and decided to charge in and kill them. But just as he swung his sword to attack, he sensed something was wrong because he couldn't hit anyone. Mu Bai scorned these noobs for fighting back and forth and then turning on each other. Just then, they heard a shout that the city guard had arrived as reinforcements, and they were overjoyed, regaining their morale. The city guard unit rode up on horseback, shouting for the intruder to stop. Mu Bai wondered if the city guard was really that strong, then decided to test them out. The first cavalryman spurred his horse forward, aiming his sharp blade and slashing straight down at the Frost Warrior. Mu Bai gasped in astonishment as his opponent was so formidable, taking down a skeletal soldier in a single blow. He realized he shouldn't underestimate his enemy. The city guard soldier pointed his sword at him, asking where the intruder was, then advanced. He sidestepped to avoid the sword tip, quickly executing Death Gaze to create a barrier sphere to block the attack. The sphere deflected the attack, flinging the man backward, causing his health to drop severely. The remaining people were stunned to realize he had no intention of killing, he was only toying with them. Mu Bai disdainfully said it was too dangerous here, said his goodbyes, and vanished through a teleportation gate, leaving the city guards bewildered. After being teleported, he was shocked to see the area was littered with the corpses of other players. A shadow fell over him, making him flinch and look up, exclaiming that this time it was over. It was that two-headed demonic beast again, flying towards him. Mu Bai was stunned to see it here and wondered if these people had been killed by it. As the monster was about to lunge for an attack, Mu Bai immediately shot away. He jumped into the lake beside him, sending water splashing everywhere. The demon whale was roaring in the gloomy sky. A group of people flew in on eagle hawks, shouting warnings about the black-feathered demon channel. Mu Bai hid behind a tree, thinking their arrival was perfectly timed as they would help draw the fire. A great tremor echoed from the sky. A worried soldier suggested calling for reinforcements. The squad leader, annoyed, asked who had broken the seal on the black-feathered demon channel, which should have been suppressed. Mu Bai surfaced, calculating that if they wanted chaos, he would create a truly big one to snatch the treasures and conveniently test his new skills on these monsters. The soldier spotted him from behind the tree and frantically reported that the intruder had appeared. He raised a powerful hand towards the black-feathered demon whale, and a radiant golden energy rose all over its body. Mu Bai watched as its scales hardened. The soldiers were amazed to see it level up into a legendary boss. The squad leader was stunned by the sight. He quickly ordered for reinforcements, while a worried soldier thought it was already too late. A heavy, gloomy air enveloped them. The demon whale now seemed like a terrifying, colossal existence before everyone. Squad leader Lian ordered everyone to spread out, as no one was a match for the monster's current strength. The bird flapped its wings and soared into the sky, and the squad leader hurriedly landed. He shouted loudly, ordering everyone to find a way to lure it away and urgently call for reinforcements. He laughed smugly. Heh, that's enough to throw you all into chaos. The club captain watched Mu Bai disappear through the teleportation gate, wondering who that intruder Bai Yi really was. The scene shifted to Stonewind Mountain in the Skyra's kingdom, the place he had set foot on, the treasure map pointing precisely to this location. Mu Bai looked around the barren rocky mountains, seeing no sign of the elite monster guarding the treasure. As he took a step forward, a notification appeared, detecting a dark gold-grade treasure key. Mu Bai was surprised by this stroke of luck. How convenient, a dark gold treasure that turned out to be the key. The sudden happiness overwhelmed him, and indeed there was a treasure beneath his feet. Mu Bai sat down to open it, his joy surging when the notification displayed the target dark gold treasure. He immediately decided to level up. As the treasure was lifted by golden energy, a notification appeared, detecting an unlocked dark gold treasure. The locked state required consuming 36 space crystals to unlock. The young man wondered, could it be that he didn't even have those 36 space crystals? He cursed in frustration, damn it, just got one free, why is this one locked again? What are space crystals? He messaged Fujia, telling her to ask the auction house manager about space crystals, and if possible, buy 36 of them first. Mu Bai held the unopened treasure and stood up, deciding to leave this place first and think it over later. Fujia quickly replied, "Good afternoon, boss." He asked directly, "Are the space crystals ready?" She reported that according to the manager, space crystals were a high-grade, versatile material commonly used to power teleportation systems in various cities. It could also open high-level treasures, upgrade spatial storage, and set up high-level magic arrays. She had already bought all 36 and would bring them to him right away. Mubai received a notification of a successful transaction for 36 space crystals. He confirmed and added a note for her to participate in the auction if she found anything special, to report to him and try to buy any materials related to the ice or death systems. Fujia repeated, "Yes, boss." After that, he proceeded to unlock the treasure. Notification displayed, consuming 36 space crystals to open the treasure. You received an item, the corpse-grade luck ring. Luck ring was said to bring fortune to the wearer. He speculated that perhaps its attributes weren't unlocked yet. The notification displayed an announcement from the Skyrise Kingdom. The city of Four Rivers had been destroyed by the legendary boss Black Crane Dragon. From now on, teleportation would be reduced. Surviving players should travel to other cities to take refuge, and good luck to everyone. After an investigation, the announcement confirmed this matter was related to the intruder Bai Yi, and the wanted level was increased by 100%. The scene shifted to Stillwater City, where people were gathered in discussion. With only a sliver of health, we could be sent back to town by monsters at any moment. No one's going after him. He can make bosses attack cities. Have you forgotten how Four Rivers was ravaged? If we can do quests, won't we never have a chance to surpass him? He rode the undead dragon to a smoking volcano peak. This place should be safe enough. A notification appeared. You have discovered Blackfeather Valley. He was flipping through a book. His soul points were sufficient. He could open the Death Saint Sea once more. A notification displayed, activating the quest, Brink of Death. Quest introduction. To truly step onto the path of Death's dominion, you must first bring yourself as close to death as possible. Control your health from full state down to a single drop, and this process must not exceed 5 seconds. If it does, you must start over from the beginning. Mubai said happily, "I truly didn't expect that having a drop of blood would have this benefit." A series of notifications exploded. Life resonance activated. The advanced quest was completed. Mubai had been mentally prepared for this. Consecutive new notifications exploded. The power fusion process was complete. Congratulations, player Bai Yi, on officially advancing to Tier 2. Unlocking a portion of the God of Death's power will change the rewards of your class. You have learned the new skill Life Resonance and the old skill Life Resonance and the old skill Life Link. You have learned the new skill Death Summon, replacing the old skill Grand Summon. You have received the skill conversion privilege, allowing you to convert one specific skill into a God of Death class skill. The original skill will be overwritten. Congratulations, you are the first player in the Blue Star region to pass the qualifiers and reach level 2. Reward, 900 attribute points, 50 skill points, intermediate. He said smugly, "So this is the power of the God of Death. What a thrill." Mubai's finger pressed on the screen, leveling up directly. A new notification updated. The S-rank skill Life Resonance was upgraded to level. All summoned and contracted creatures will form a God pact with you. Effect 1, all damage is transferred and evenly distributed among contracted creatures. As long as a contracted creature lives, no attack can damage the main body. You can draw life points from any contracted creature at any time to restore other targets. The SS rank skill Death Summon has been successfully upgraded to the SS rank skill Death Decree. He muttered to himself, "This skill is basically about using clones. I need to utilize it well." Skill information displayed, Death Decree, S rank passive skill, no level. Effect 1, all summoning skills are instant with no cooldown. 2, summoned creature attributes increase by 100%. 4, command summoning space limit increases by 10%. 5, all summoned creatures revive once with full health upon death. Issue the decree to command the undead army. The undead dragon also changed, its eyes flashing with cold light. It began to flap its wings and fly higher. Mubai looked up and noticed, the Frostbone Undead Dragon has leveled up too. Notification displayed, reminding you that your mount, Frostbone Undead Dragon, has surpassed level 30 and officially entered its juvenile stage. The dragon called out to its master. Mubai said happily, "Things are getting interesting this time." He and the dragon left this place. "Let's go. We were going to deal with those chickens." Now with the second effect of the Death Saint Sea, the Skyrise Kingdom will officially become the stage for the Undead Legion. When he arrived at a castle on a floating island in the middle of the sea, he had guessed it. Looks like that group has already fled. These Skyrise people seem to be plotting something. Mubai asked the dragon, "Do you want to go cause some chaos? Let's go down and play with them." The guys below were discussing, "Everyone, while it's dark, hurry up and train. If Bai Yi comes, we'll have no choice but to retreat to the city." The others said angrily, "Just how strong is Bai Yi? Why hasn't he been caught yet? There are rumors that Bai Yi is a demon who can summon thousands of undead legions. Is that true? We'll go train now. We'll definitely catch Bai Yi." The dragon had already appeared, emitting a chill from its mouth. The guys below looked up. "Everyone, look, what is that?" The dragon immediately unleashed its power downward. The whole group ran in panic. "Run fast. It's Bai Yi. Bai Yi is here." Mubai then teleported back to Blackfeather Valley. He called for Little Mountain City. A teleportation gate appeared in his palm, using himself as the stage for the official debut of the Calamity Legion. The Frost Warriors appeared with blazing momentum. He ordered the dragon, Frostbone, "Go play on your own." Mubai followed behind the Frost Warriors, muttering, "These monsters are too weak, not suitable for training." A monster blocked their path, its eyes gleaming at its prey. Mubai glanced around in confusion. Is this place a low-level map? It's all low-level monsters. He saw the warriors slashing at the monster. The health was dropping heavily. He realized, damn, this is no low-level monster. Its health and damage aren't low at all. A beam of light condensed in Mubai's palm. He said it's time to show them something. He summoned, "Come out, Headless Knight." The Headless Knight sat majestically on its horse and asked, "Who has revived me?" Mubai interrupted, "Enough talk, take it down." The Headless Knight didn't hesitate, spurring its horse forward, unleashing a slash full of lethal damage, Death Strike. The monster's head flew toward Mubai. He was startled. Is this Headless Knight that savage? A series of notifications displayed. You received Beginner Skill Book 11. You received a Bronze Grade Dagger, Wolf Fang Dagger. Many other knights were also being upgraded. He was surprised by their new appearance. Have the dry bones leveled up into Skeletal Kings? The monster's info displayed: Skeletal King Archer, no Halo level 30, attributes 15,379, health 236,900, attack 97,600, physical defense 1,000, skill multi-shot level 9, lethal snipe level 9. The mighty Skeletal King possesses attributes 3 times that of an elite archer. Skeletal King Mage level 30, skill fireball level 9, sea of fire level 9. A mighty king possessing attributes 3 times that of an elite mage. Skeletal King Warrior, no Halo level 30, skill heavy strike level 9, crush and explosion level 9. The mighty Skeletal King possessing attributes 3 times that of an elite warrior. He exclaimed joyfully, "This time I can form my own Skeletal Legion." It seems after Death Summon was upgraded to the S-rank skill Death Decree, the summoned creatures got stronger too. Each squad is equipped with 1 melee and 2 ranged units. Mubai, hands on his hips, burst out laughing, "I shall sweep this whole land clean." He led the charge eagerly, charging forward to kill all their monsters, leaving them with nothing to hunt. A series of notifications exploded. Defeated level 55 boss, leader H. Windwolf, gained 50% extra experience, FB 550,000. Defeated level 58 boss, leader Shadow Panther, gained 150% extra experience, FB 580,000. Defeated level 55 boss, leader H. Windwolf, gained 150% extra experience, FB 550,000. Congratulations, player Bai Yi, you have leveled up to level 31, gaining 1 attribute point, 1 skill point, and 25 free attribute points. He asked the Frost Warrior, "Bear, how's it going? Any findings?" Hearing its report, Mubai was surprised. A teleportation gate. Did we discover a dungeon secret realm? A new notification displayed. Discovered a new dungeon secret realm. Please choose the dungeon difficulty. 10,000 Poison Snake Cavern, level 60. The highest difficulty is Hell level. He was surprised. It really is a dungeon secret realm. Normal level then. The level gap is a bit high anyway. Let's try first. A flash of light appeared up ahead. He stepped through the teleportation gate, entering the normal level 10,000 Poison Snake Cavern. Mubai had the Headless Knight by his side. He ordered it to lead the subordinates and start fighting monsters. He thought to himself, this tiny normal level dungeon, let's finish it quickly. 1 wave and it's done. The scene shifted to inside a city. An angry voice rang out. "What did you say? He dares to target Little Mountain City too." Jun ordered his men, "Hold him back with all your strength. I will personally come to arrest this intruder." He told himself he absolutely had to capture Bai Yi to claim the reward from the imperial capital and gain advancement. Before he disappeared, a fawning subordinate said, "Lord Jun is truly formidable." Outside, a level 30 frostbone giant dragon was causing chaos. The soldiers were already surrounding the giant dragon, yet he still dared to come. Bai Yi was practically asking for death. Did he think the city guard was made of mud? They raised their crossbows and aimed at the giant dragon, concentrating all their firepower on it. As the flames surged forward, they cheered, "My A-rank talent finally has a use. I will live stream Bai Yi being captured in the Skyfall Kingdom. Everyone bear witness." Netizens commented fervently, "Capture Bai Yi for the Skyfall Kingdom. He has gone too far. Kill him." "Where is this? I want to go watch too. Long live the Skyfall Kingdom." Mubai received a notification on his side. "Your mount is under attack." He was surprised. "They dare to touch my mount." Mubai's fingers glided across the screen. This place was almost cleared as well. A golden energy radiated. "Time to show them what I've got." At that moment, the giant dragon let out a violent sonic wave. Jun stepped out from the shadows, clad in sturdy armor. Jun raised his spear and shouted, "Bai Yi, I'll count to 3, or you'll taste the power of this frostbone giant dragon." He gritted his teeth. 1. Jun was startled by what was appearing. What in the world was this? A teleportation gate suddenly appeared in the sky, and warriors descended from it. Following them were venomous serpents, causing the group below to panic. What is that? Why are there venomous serpent monsters? One man looked up in horror. No. Mubai had prepared this gift, and casually sent these small monsters to the players as well. The giant dragon roared, the tremor reaching all the way to Jun. The Headless Knight was also summoned, charging forward on horseback with thunderous hooves, a death charge. The squad leader reassured his men, "Don't be afraid, it's just a bunch of level 30 skeleton soldiers. Charge forward and kill them all." Mubai spoke up. This is the gift I have meticulously prepared for you all. Monster information appeared, death level Judge Ghost. The system notified him he had consumed 500 points of death energy to strengthen. Skeleton King warriors increased 100% of primary attributes. Warning, you are being eroded by the cursed crown. At first, he had scorned the level 30 mobs. I'm already level 60. The moment he finished speaking, his health bar dropped by 90,000 from a single radiant slash. Time rewound to the moment the headless knight stood before the squad leader. He stared with tense eyes, his pupils reflecting the image of an arrow hurtling toward him. The next attack was called Fatal Strike, dealing over 450,000 damage. The squad leader froze, stuttering, "What? How is that possible?" He didn't retreat but crazily charged forward, die. The sword strike only deducted 461 health, the difference was too clear. The crowd was terrified. Save us, the city guard leader only dealing 3-digit damage. This skeleton is truly strong. Just how terrifying must Bai Yi be? Mubai casually revealed, the death contract allows contracted creatures and summons to share damage. Over 20 undead took the hit together, leaving everyone helpless. Squad leader gaped and screamed. A giant hand wreathed in surging energy covered the sky. Jun hurriedly ordered the activation of the city defense formation. All defensive weapons open fire. Don't let the undead horde enter Shaoshan City. Mubai sneered mockingly. Let's see how long you all can hold out. They frantically called for help, requesting reinforcements from the imperial capital. The scene shifted to a secret meeting of the Skyfall Kingdom Council, where high-ranking officials were gathered. Yao Zong, the chairman of the secret council, spoke up and asked, "What exactly do you intend to do?" Huai Jian raised his cup and replied calmly, "What do I intend to do?" He slammed the wine glass onto the table. "That is not for you to question." A surge of power shot forth. "Where do you think you're running?" Countless light beams surrounded Huai Jian. The people present thought to themselves, where did this mysterious big shot come from, and what is he planning? Urgent news arrived. Chairman, the city lord of Shaoshan City, Machimoto Jun, is requesting aid. Bai Ye is attacking. Huai Jian praised inwardly, this kid is something. Yao Zong was bewildered. Just who have we provoked? He ordered a team to go provide support. Huai Jian blocked the way. With me here, none of you are going anywhere. The formation released countless light beams, and he declared, you all can stay here and play with this old man and experience a single sword strike. Over on Mubai's side, he continued his mission, had enough fun, time to get to the main business. The Temple of Death required eliminating a flesh rot level boss. It should be right here. Mubai descended to the ground to observe. A giant python lunged at him. He quickly retreated. This one is really big. Quickly summoned the skeleton warriors, little minions, get on it for me. Countless attacks rained down on the giant python's head in succession. Mubai looked up at the giant python. Let's see if you can withstand my skeleton legion. The skeleton warriors were attacking relentlessly. Mubai ordered the skeleton warriors to unleash magic. This snake is quite tough. I'll use magic to turn it into snake soup. 2 streams of magic shot straight at the giant python. Each strike hit its body, and the giant python gradually weakened. The giant python collapsed. Mubai chuckled disdainfully. No matter how tough, it's hard to resist an army of skeletons. A series of notifications appeared. Defeated the level 60 green lizard snake leader boss. Received 50% experience. 1.2 million gold. Congratulations to Bai Yi for leveling up to 42, receiving skill points and attribute points. Also earned the achievement for being the first to clear the 10,000 Venom Snake Lair dungeon. Mubai breathed a sigh of relief. This boss gives insane experience, leveling up like crazy. He led his group of skeleton warriors deeper into the cave. A system-wide announcement sounded. Bai Yi was the first to clear this dungeon in the Skyfall Kingdom. Players who received the news were shocked. He was just attacking a city, and now he's off fighting a boss. Bai Yi advances too fast. They got robbed of the achievement again. The people were abuzz with discussion. What exactly is he doing? Just a moment ago he was level 30. Now he's level 42. Some suspected a game glitch. His progress was so far ahead it made everyone else look like a joke. In the Sacred Dragon Kingdom, the level leaderboard updated. Bai Yi topped the list at level 42, while the 2 below him were only level 14. Everyone was astonished. What is this top player Bai Yi eating to level up so fast? Huai Jian was still doing a good job of blocking the path in the Skyfall Kingdom's imperial capital. Yao Zong angrily demanded, who exactly are you, and what are you doing in the Skyfall imperial capital? Huai Jian turned to look, said softly, I just wanted to grab a few things, then vanished. Yao Zong hastily ordered a pursuit. In a sealed room, a few men stood before empty beds. You said this was the imperial capital's treasury. Now there's not even a single hair left. A series of announcements made Yao Zong's face turn green. The imperial capital was breached by an intruder. All Skyfall Kingdom players lose 1 level. The treasury has been plundered. Monster experience reduced by 50%. The crowd panicked, crying that it was over. Who in the world caused this? Mubai had just left the cave, laden with loot, satisfied with this legendary gain. A notification reminded him, the Death Sea has discovered a clue for a class equipment set. Mubai was surprised. What is this all about? Death Holy Sea suddenly had a strange reaction. Looking at the book before him, he was slightly surprised. This place is The Holy Tang Empire sounded familiar, seems to be the force supplying the Divine Dragon Hall. This empire is not easy to provoke. It seems we must plan for the long term, return first then decide. The scene shifted to the inner city of East Sea. Stepping out of the teleportation gate, he breathed a sigh of relief, finally home. Just as he returned, Fu Jiao was already there to greet him. Boss, glad you returned brilliantly. Now the entire Divine Dragon Empire knows you destroyed the Tianqi nation. Mu Bai was surprised, not expecting the rumor to spread so fast. Fu Jiao reminded, the guild is established. Have you thought of a name yet? He decided the name Wan Ji. Everyone praised it as good. Fu Jiao confidently said, one day our business will spread across the 10,000 realms. The system displayed an invitation to join the Wan Ji Guild. Everyone unanimously supported it. He received the notification, invited to join the Wan Ji Guild. Mu Bai naturally agreed. He assigned the task, the guild established, go to the auction house to sweep up goods. The wealth ranking of the Blue Star region. First place Bai Ye with 3,650,000 soul coins. Second place Fu Jiao with 192,000. Third place Mu Bai with 218,000 gold coins. Rank 46 was dirt poor. Only 10,000 gold coins left. The whole crowd watching was shocked. A new server announcement appeared. The Wanjie Guild is recruiting life players of all professions. Signing a contract grants all materials, a monthly salary of 20 gold coins and a 5% commission. Everyone was buzzing. Oh my god, such a good deal. So great. Nothing this easy exists in the world. The name alone sounds awesome. Must go try it right away. Everyone was inviting their friends to go along. No need to spend money on materials. Plus there's a salary and commission. Amazing. Let's all go apply to join the guild. A huge crowd rushed to the registration point. Fu Jia raised his hand to calm them. Don't rush. One by one slowly. Mu Bai stood nearby observing, waiting until enough talent was recruited, then they could advance to the auction houses of other cities. 1 month later, the Wanjie Guild had spread across the entire Divine Dragon Empire. The scene shifted to Ghost Hand ordering his subordinates to investigate information on Bai Ye. He had set his sights on him, determined that Bai Ye would fall under his blade. His attributes displayed: Divine Mark, SS rank innate skill, stealth increased by 200%, cooldown reduced by 80%, and no S rank detection skill could see through it, plus the first sneak attack breaks armor and deals 300% damage. The scene shifted to the East Sea City Lord's mansion. A question echoed within. You want to go to the Holy Tang Empire? Mu Bai confirmed. Yes, that place has something I need. Sichu shook his head. That place is nothing like the Divine Dragon Empire. This is in existence on a much higher level. Mu Bai was troubled, so it's impossible to go. He reassured, it's not impossible, but you must pass the exam of the Divine Dragon Academy and complete the training to be permitted. Mu Bai nodded. So can I participate now? Situ drew his magic staff. Then let me give you a hand. He opened a passage gate leading to the exam location, but the path beyond, you must walk yourself. Mu Bai politely bowed. Thank you, City Lord Situ. Watching him disappear from sight, Situ sighed, saying the youth's spirit is strong indeed. Stepping through the gate, a notification appeared. Hint that you have discovered the Linshi forest. Gazing at the grassland and the rhino herd, he wondered what kind of exam this is. The scenery is quite nice. A herd of one-horned rhinos spotted him. They thundered toward him. Mu Bai lamented, heavens, why so sudden? He summoned the Frost Warrior, so it's just a bunch of small monsters. You scared me. Suddenly a flame flared up beneath his feet. A blazing flame Lion King, a dark gold rank boss, level 110, health 518,000, appeared. Mu Bai gasped in astonishment. This is the exam boss, such a high level. He quickly summoned more Frost Warriors, instructing them to strike. They locked onto the target, charging in bravely, but the Lion King's front paw swept down powerfully. Mu Bai winced in pain. Heavens, terrifying damage. The exam is indeed not simple. He summoned archers, instructing them to shoot from afar, concentrate all power on it. The arrows struck, creating a huge explosion. Smoke filled the air. When it cleared, the Lion King was still intact. Mu Bai was stunned. Why no damage at all? The Lion King, covered in red flames, gathered momentum and shot upward. Blazing fire charged straight down at the Frost Warrior formation. They raised their shields to block. Looking at the wall of fire, he realized he had to use a trump card, so he summoned the Frostbone Dragon. The dragon opened its mouth, spewing a surging wave of freezing air. The Lion King immediately blocked the attack. The two sides were evenly matched. Shortly after, it was frozen into a block. Mu Bai sneered. Thought you were so formidable. Before he could celebrate, he saw the Lion King break free from the ice and charge out. Seeing its ferocious look, Mu Bai taunted, oh, getting angry, this is interesting. He stepped back, controlling the Skeleton King, riding forward on horseback following its master's command. Lion King opened its mouth, gathering a massive fireball. Skeleton King swung its sword down. The Lion King lost over 13,000 health. Mu Bai controlled 2 more Bone Warriors. Seeing it use heavy firepower, he increased long-range fire attacks, concentrating all firepower. The weak points on the Lion King's body were struck. Flames burst out. Seeing its body sway and fall, he gloated. No matter how strong you are, you can't hold on. A series of notifications appeared. Received the blessing of the Goddess of Luck. Received epic rank Fury Fire Crystal materials times 30, 26,400 gold coins, and 112 Soul Fate stones. Mu Bai was delighted. The spoils were too good. James finally appeared, marveling at how fast he passed the trial. Must be a hidden class. He introduced himself. Hello, I am your receptionist. James pointed to the passage gate that had just opened. Congratulations on passing the Divine Dragon Academy exam, becoming the 1709th student. Please come with me. Mubai was surprised. So that's it, Divine Dragon Academy, let's see how strong it is. Stepping inside, looking at the magnificent academy building, he marveled at how grand it was. James led the way to complete enrollment procedures. There he met Kwang Shui, who started a conversation. New guy, huh? What's your class talent? He couldn't see the details clearly, only knew Kwang Shui was level 49, hidden class blood sacrifice priest. Mubai noted to himself another hidden class. Indeed, those who get here are no ordinary people. He greeted back. Hello, I am a necromancer. Kwang Shui's eyes widened. Isn't necromancer a hidden class? Mubai chuckled. No way, I'm not lucky enough to be a hidden class, Kwang Shui praised. A normal class getting into the Divine Dragon Academy, you must have worked very hard. James stopped in front of a building. We're here. This is everyone's dormitory, he exclaimed. Truly the Divine Dragon Academy, even the dormitory is cool. James corrected. Not this place, it's over there. He pointed to the building next door. New students without a ranking on the leaderboard can't enter the hero dormitory. They can only temporarily stay in the regular dormitory. The two's eyes widened. Huh, why do we have to stay there? So who stays in that beautiful building? A group of senior students laughed mockingly. Two more newbies obviously clueless, wanting to get into the hero dormitory. A level 68 mage said bitterly. Where did these two fools crawl out from? Probably regular classes, weak as hell, a level 66 toxin master added. Kwang Shui hot-temperedly snapped. Who are you calling a fool? Mubai intervened. Don't mind them, James reminded softly. The academy forbids fighting on campus. Violators will be expelled. If you want to spar, go to the official challenge arena. Two took advantage of the moment to push further. Stupid fatso still acting cute. Want to play with me? Mubai immediately pulled his friend away from the trouble. Don't be impulsive. You're not strong enough to face him yet. Go back to the dorm and rest first. Kwang Shui gritted his teeth. Those bastards. Sooner or later I'll teach them a lesson. Mubai secretly relished, just arriving its best to stay hidden. The Divine Dragon Academy is getting more and more interesting. James led them to a shared room. You two rest for now. An hour later, all the new recruits had gathered at Divine Dragon Square. Kwang Shui nodded in reply. All right, I understand, thank you. His group of friends was stunned when they heard the news. What? Brother Baiye has already entered Divine Dragon Academy? Fujie confirmed. That's right. He said to leave everything here to us and to not bother him recently. Hua Tang knew well that Divine Dragon Academy was a place reserved only for top-tier players. One person chimed in. Yeah, I heard everyone starts with a hidden class. That's really enviable. Fujie reassured them. All right, enough envying. I'll focus on managing the guild during this time, and you all should concentrate on training. The scene shifted to Divine Dragon Academy Square, where students had gathered in large numbers and were buzzing with chatter. Have you heard? I heard the principal is a lone dragon. Nonsense. I heard the principal is a level 200 abyss mage. Kwang Shui immediately asked him, Bai Yi, have you heard about the principal yet? Mubai shook his head. No, but I'm about to meet him now. The principal stood on the podium and spoke clearly. Welcome, everyone. I am the principal of Divine Dragon Academy, and on behalf of the Academy, I welcome you. This place has a history spanning hundreds of years and is the highest institution on the continent. Only the strong are qualified to be here, and you will become even stronger. The two standing in front shouted as an example, I want to become stronger, the principal continued. Many think that entering here is the beginning of reaching the peak, but I tell you, this is also a brutal start, he explained. Divine Dragon Academy implements a strict elimination system. Only those on the rankings can stand firm. From now on, you must become stronger and continue to get stronger. The entire hall shouted in unison, Stronger, stronger! Teleportation gates appeared, and he announced, Next, please welcome the 4 mentors of Divine Dragon Academy. Both he and Kwang Shui watched with eager anticipation. The first to step out was the Nature System Mentor, Hai Si Tong. Next was the Power System Mentor, White Tiger. Third was very young, the Magic System Mentor, Laloj. The only woman among them was the Death System Mentor, Amanda. The principal declared, These 4 mentors represent the 4 ultimate types of power. Your choice will lead you to the pinnacle of strength. The crowd of students shouted excitedly, I want to choose the Magic System. Laloj is so handsome. Someone retorted, You're a swordsman. Why choose magic? He replied, What do you know? I'm a magic swordsman. Another student yelled, I have a war shield. I want to choose the power system. Kwang Shui looked at him with a worried expression. Bai Yi, you're in trouble this time. Mubai was puzzled. Why? Kwang Shui lowered his voice to reveal. I heard the Death System Mentor has a rather peculiar hobby. She especially likes to use a whip to flog others. Mubai, upon hearing this, smiled instead. This suits my taste perfectly. A little leather whip? I'd love that. Amanda instructed, Choosing the death system means choosing the path of shadow. You lot, enter the teleportation gate first. The group of students said in unison, Yes, Madam Amanda. As Mubai was about to step in, Amanda suddenly called him back. That student, wait a moment. He turned around in surprise. Huh? Madam Amanda, what is it? She narrowed her eyes, her gaze sharp and cold. You are emitting a very distinct death aura. What class talent did you awaken? Mubai pretended to be harmless and replied, Ma'am, my class is just an ordinary necromancer. Amanda's harsh expression eased upon hearing this. Ah, so you're a necromancer. I see. But inside, she still found it strange. How odd. How can an ordinary necromancer have such a strong death aura? Meanwhile, Mubai thought to himself, hey, there's an even bigger surprise waiting for you later. On the second day, Amanda stood on the podium and announced, you have chosen the death system, and from now on, I will teach you directly. I don't like to waste words. Today, we will learn about summoned beast knowledge. She waved her hand and summoned a specimen that drew admiration from the class. I can't believe it's an infernal flame demon. Amanda explained seriously. As you can see, the power of a summoned beast is directly related to the strength of the summoner. Mubai silently assessed, the death system has the fewest recruits. But it seems this mentor's strength is not weak at all. A student raised their hand to ask, ma'am, do we have a chance to enter a ruin? Amanda smiled. Of course, you're all more interested in ruins than in the lecture. She confirmed, yes, but for you as you are now, even the lowest level ruin is 9 parts death, 1 part life, so you can't enter any now. The student was surprised. Huh, are ruins that terrifying? How are they different from ordinary secret realms? Amanda explained. Besides being far more difficult than secret realms in terms of randomness, each ruin only appears exactly once. Mubai quickly guessed, so that means after it's cleared, the ruin will disappear. Amanda nodded. Correct. Additionally, the area of a ruin is dozens to hundreds of times larger than a secret realm. She emphasized further, and to conquer a ruin, you must find the ruin's divine artifact. The whole group of students became excited again. A divine artifact? She nodded. Yes, within every ruin, there exists a single divine artifact. The group of students began to plead in unison. Madam Amanda, please take us to see it once for the experience. Yes, even just seeing the entrance would be enough. Amanda agreed. Since you've chosen the death system, it's good for you to feel a bit of its aura. Let's go. I'll take you to the entrance of a ruin. Students joyfully lined up and entered the teleportation gate. Great! I'm so excited. Let's go. Let's go. At this moment, Mubai felt that the Divine Dragon Academy was indeed very interesting. The group quickly disappeared through the gate. Just as they entered, a massive, tightly shut stone gate loomed before them. Amanda pointed to it and introduced, that is the entrance to a ruin. The students were stunned. The door is so big. This place has gusts of eerie wind. It's chilling to the bone. She emphasized, this is just one entrance. Each ruin can have multiple different entrances, scattered across the entire continent. Mubai raised his hand to ask, so when will this entrance open? She replied curtly, the opening time of each ruin is completely random, and each opening will not exceed 5 minutes. He rubbed his chin, his gaze thoughtful. So that's how it is. At that moment, the ground suddenly shook violently. Amanda spun around in shock. He was startled. Ha! Why is the ground shaking? She gritted her teeth and cursed. Damn it! Why does this ruin have to open right now? Amanda shouted loudly, urging the stunned students, run! Absolutely do not let the black mist pull you into the ruin. Run! Instantly, a dense aura of death surged out in waves from within the massive gate. A terrifying suction force grabbed hold of the entire group of students. They screamed in fear. Madam Amanda, help us! This force is too strong. Amanda watched, eyes wide with horror, as the group of new recruits was sucked entirely inside, her face pale. This is bad. She immediately understood the first thing she needed to do was quickly report this to the principal. Meanwhile, Mubai was probably the only one who felt pleased. This is great. Even if I didn't want to go in, I have to now. It's a little exciting. The news quickly reached the principal. He slammed the table and stood up, furious. What? All the death system students have entered a beginner's ruin? The messenger replied. The reason is unknown. The entrance suddenly opened and sucked all 18 new recruits in. Principal was worried about the safety of the new recruits. For them, a beginner's ruin was like hell itself. He immediately ordered, notify Amanda at once to organize a rescue team. If that fails, find a way to go deeper into the ruin to save them. The subordinate acknowledged and withdrew. Inside the ruin, pitch black, Mubai slowly regained consciousness. He complained, so I really got teleported here. Looking around and seeing no one, he thought, the others must have been scattered. This place is too dangerous. He carefully summoned 2 skeleton warriors to the front to act as vanguards. It's safer to summon some underlings first. Mubai found the silence of the place suspicious. Amanda was right. This ruin is indeed very large. But why isn't there a single monster? At that moment, a sharp force shot past. Mubai reacted quickly, dodging by tilting his body just in time. When he saw the monster in front of him clearly, his face immediately showed an expression of shock. Its information appeared before his eyes. Dark Gold Insect Elite, Level 40, Power 900, Agility 7096, Physique 930, Spirit 28. Mubai frowned in disgust. This thing looks disgusting. He immediately ordered the skeleton warrior. An elite, huh? Get him. The 2 skeleton warriors charged forward, but were taken down in an instant. Mubai wasn't discouraged and immediately summoned more. Not enough numbers. Do it again. The skeleton warrior's sword slashed down on the insect's skin, creating a piercing clang. Mubai frowned. Its skin is that hard? He then shot a fireball to see if he could break through its defense. The flames burst up and enveloped the insect, but still couldn't inflict any significant damage. Mubai hesitated against the tough opponent. Damn, even magic attacks are useless. This isn't right at all. The insect roared and launched an attack. Mubai dodged while gritting his teeth. What kind of monster is this exactly? He activated his penetrating eye to find the weak point of the worm. Bai spotted a prominent glowing dot. The weak point was on its abdomen. He ordered the Frost Warriors and the archers to focus fire on its belly armor. The monster howled in pain, but its power surged instead. Bai was surprised to see that even with its defense broken, it was still ferocious, so he decided to show it what real power meant. Bai raised his middle finger and said, "Come on, Skeleton King." The majestic Skeleton King appeared on horseback, charging straight forward, face your death. A precise sword strike pierced the weak point on the giant insect's belly. A large hole appeared in its abdomen. Notification appeared, congratulating him on defeating an elite monster and receiving a relic fragment. Bai exclaimed that even though he lost 2 subordinates, the casualty rate wasn't bad. He picked up the fragment and, unsure of its use, decided to keep it. He noticed a new sword lying on the ground. Siegebreaker Greatsword, level 40, grade 2, strength plus 300. Effect: attack on armor adds an additional 300 strength. Bai was surprised. Weapons in the ruin were truly heaven-defying. It would definitely sell for a high price. Bai and his knight advanced, killing gods as they met them, to see how terrifying this ruin really was. Seeing the second giant insect, he felt calmer. With commanding experience, he didn't need to stand on ceremony. Skeleton King, get him. Skeleton King charged forward bravely, and a barrage of arrows was loosed by the archers. The Skeleton King's sword flashed with a cold light. Bai stepped over the corpse of the giant insect that was cleaved in 2 and obtained another relic fragment. Movement ahead caught Bai's attention. It seemed like there were people. Approaching, he saw several corpses lying on the ground. Looking closely, they didn't seem to be students of the Divine Dragon Academy. Could there be others who could enter this ruin? A few people were running towards him, shouting about a group of monsters being too strong. They were new recruits from the academy, fleeing in panic from the monster behind them. Bai walked against their flow, heading towards the giant insect. He gave a summoning signal to deal with it. The group of warriors rushed forward, and the Skeleton King declared he would answer the call of death. The group of trainees was astonished. He killed the elite worm too easily. A girl whispered that it wasn't that his summons were strong, but that he was too powerful. They retreated in fear when they saw another one appear. One of them sensed danger and decided not to linger, running away quickly. Bai calmly directed, and fire-coated arrows were shot out. The group of new recruits was surprised to see him summon an additional skeletal mage. They ran while discussing the stranger's overly powerful summons, then decided to leave this dangerous place. The scene shifted to Amanda, who was reporting to the dean about the cause of the accident where the ruin's entrance opened automatically. She revealed that, just like last time, it was the work of the Black Assassination Organization. The dean was furious, saying it was those traitors to humanity again. He ordered an investigation to be launched and a rescue team organized to enter the ruin. Inside the ruin, Bai was lucky to escape into a dense forest. He observed the place. The swamp was a bit strange, and the trees here were too thick and large. Bai stopped to look at the thing that was moving. What was that? Notification appeared showing Swampworm, level 10. Bai got goosebumps, wondering if even the small monsters were this terrifying, so he immediately released his fire flames. The flame exploded and covered the sky. Notification congratulated him on successfully eliminating the Swampworm and receiving a relic fragment. Bai was overjoyed. One hit was enough. This kind of worm was weak but easily attracted the queen worm. A shadow flashed past behind him, and he turned around cautiously. The other party introduced himself as Hao Bao, his class being a death swordsman. Bai was wary, asking if he wasn't from the Divine Dragon Academy why he was here. Hao Bao smiled, saying this ruin didn't just have one entrance. Bai asked for his identity clearly. Hao Bao advanced with his sword, saying if he was a student of the Divine Dragon, then his mission was. He charged forward with obvious killing intent to kill him. A sharp sword energy shot forth, and a skeleton stepped forward to block the blow. Bai was stunned to see the skeleton shattered, asking if one sword strike could kill his warrior. Hao Bao sneered, saying so he was a necromancer. Interesting. Bai summoned another mage and asked why he attacked. He revealed the Black Assassination Organization. He was confused, having never heard of the Black Assassination since he didn't watch the news. He charged, saying then he would die as a confused ghost. The Skeleton King charged forward on command, declaring no one could harm his master. Bai stood safely behind the Skeleton King's protection. He laid his cards on the table, saying traitors like them only dared to kill people inside the ruin. Bao angrily declared he would make life worse than death for him. He swung his sword as if to trample an ant. The group of Frost Warriors raised their shield formation to block. Skeleton King angrily charged forward to block a sword strike, surprising Hao Bao. He was tense, wondering how his summon could be this strong. Bai was injured, and he kneeled on the damp ground. Hao Bao released his evil aura, boasting about his regeneration ability and declaring that Bai could die. It was time for Bai to reveal his final hand, saying he forgot to tell him something. He said he had a life-sharing skill, so no matter how many times Hao Bao stabbed him, it would be useless. Hao Bao's face changed in disbelief. Bai activated his death vision, and waves of sound spread outward, declaring there were many more ways to take his life. Bai ordered his subordinate, hurry and finish the task, the Skeleton King. It swung its sharp sword, obeying the order, yes, master. Mubai continued forward. Those who cause their own doom have no way to live. Let's go. The system announced congratulations on defeating the level 48 swordsman, receiving experience points, along with 17 ruin fragments. The academy received news from the principal that a Hacksat member had been killed in the ruins. He was shocked. A member of the Black Kill was killed. Amanda was confused. How could that be? Our team hasn't made a move yet. Who killed the Black Kill member? The principal speculated that there might be another expert helping, and told his subordinates to continue gathering information. They acknowledged the order. Principal asked further, how is the rescue team preparation going? Amanda reported that they were assembled and ready to depart. He requested, if they wanted to forcefully open the entrance to the ruins, they would need the young ones to activate the formation. She replied that it was prepared, but when the formation is activated, the principal's body would suffer severe damage. He said for the sake of saving the students, he would accept it. Go prepare. Amanda obeyed. She hurriedly left the principal's office to carry out the mission. He could only cling to a slim hope, hoping the students could hold on. Scene shift to the ruins. A group of people gathered. The leader spoke up. Time is short, so I'll be direct. We must bring the students back and complete the mission. The principal raised his hand and channeled his power towards the gate. Please activate the teleportation formation. Everyone complied. Principal, we are beginning. Countless streams of power flew towards the gate. The principal announced the formation was activated. The rescue team departed. Not wanting any delay, they immediately set off. People outside were struggling to hold the formation gate. Seeing him stagger and fall, they quickly caught him, worriedly asking if the principal was all right. He waved it off. It's nothing. The formation will be reactivated in 4 hours. They acknowledged, understood. Inside, Mubai was bored. Why are all the monsters the same? He recalled the swordsman mentioning something about Jun's mother but didn't see anything. As soon as he finished speaking, a giant insect lunged at him. Information appeared. Venomous mother insect, level 56 boss, strength 5680, agility 430-96, vitality 420, spirit 28. He was startled. Speak of the devil, no time to prepare, and a boss level at that. It opened its mouth and fired a shockwave. Mubai had to cover his ears. The skeletal warriors beside him disintegrated. Young Master Yuan Jiang commented, the boss's attack is too monstrous. One shout and the minions shattered. Mubai ordered the Skeleton King to block it. It swung its sword towards the mother insect's neck. At the same time, Mubai summoned more skeletons. Using a Sea of Bones tactic, the shockwave destroyed the first wave. Mubai decided to use his trump card. No more holding back. Bone Dragon, come out. He commanded the Bone Dragon to breathe frost. The frozen flame binary sky enveloped the mother insect. Seeing it freeze, he laughed mockingly, broken defense, and still acting arrogant. Cracks appeared on the ice surface. It released its power. The ice shattered and flew in all directions. The mother insect entered its rage phase. Mubai was startled, exclaiming, this worm has intelligence. It wants to kill me. He decided if he couldn't win, he would run. Seeing it slither towards him, he was surprised. Countless skeletons are blocking its path, and it's still chasing. Mubai's palm condensed flames, which exploded, a huge explosion at the spot where the mother insect stood. The giant bone dragon continued to blast frost. He was confident it would be worn down to death. Mother insect showed signs of weakening. Mubai laughed mockingly. Out of tricks now. Notification received 5 ruin fragments. Level up. Items appeared. The Death Spell Staff, level 30, Quality Executioner class, Durability 100, Attack plus 30, Vitality plus 20, Spirit plus 70. Equipped, summon creature attributes increased by 30%. He was surprised to get the exact staff he wanted. A weapon made for him. Even if it costs lifespan, he must level it up quickly. System confirmed success. The Undead Warlock Staff level 70, Attack plus 50, Vitality plus 50, Spirit plus 350, can contract with defeated monsters. Mubai held the staff, able to resurrect monsters as summons. Truly formidable, not a wasted kill. Pointed at the mother insect, then become my summon. Radiant golden energy seeped in. Mubai thought this one's size was much stronger than the minions. Mubai led the bone warriors and continued exploring the ruins. He recalled the oversized ones, about to move on when he saw people on the other side. Looking at the pile of corpses, Mubai sighed. So many dead, truly tragic. Hearing a noise, he turned around. Recognizing the group of new recruits, he was surprised, didn't expect it to be them. Facing them was a swarm of giant scorpions. He stepped out. You're lucky to meet me, Skeleton King. Go save them. Charge. Monster information displayed. Giant scorpion, level 48 boss, strength 350-80, agility 390-96, vitality 209-20, spirit 970. The group of new recruits rejoiced. Someone's here to save us. Look, it's a necromancer summoner. The big shot has arrived. Mubai told them to hide somewhere safe. He'd handle the scorpion. They thanked him profusely. He commanded, mage, attack for me. The flames dealt no damage because the scorpion was immune. Mubai worried, are all monsters immune to magic? Took out his staff, then let me broaden your horizons. Mubai summoned, come out, spirit mother insect. Everyone was amazed he could summon such a giant. This was no ordinary summoner. This is too overpowered. The scorpions were like toys before the mother insect. Mubai laughed mockingly. The mother insect directly bit the scorpion. Notification received 4 ruin fragments. Level up. He collected the junk items. The group of new recruits thanked him. He casually replied no need for formality. asking why they kept going to dangerous places. They said they followed the crowd because they heard there was a divine artifact. Mubai widened his eyes in surprise. What? They explained they were attacked by scorpions before they even reached the place. The others were all dead. He became interested. Where's the divine artifact? They quietly pointed towards a place teeming with monsters. Mubai was astonished to see countless monsters gathered here. Most of them were boss level. The situation seemed quite tense. Someone pointed ahead. Everyone look, it's Senior Yasu. He's come to save us. He lifted his hammer, ready to fight. The heavy hammer slammed hard into the ground. Yasu shouted, everyone, move the wounded to the rear. Leave this insect to me. He aimed at one of the insects. Die, you disgusting creature. A talisman created a shockwave that spread everywhere. Yasu smiled secretly. This guy's strength is decent, but clearing this place out will make it convenient to snatch the divine artifact. Mubai rushed forward to assist. Senior, I'm here to help you. He warned worriedly, you should go. This isn't something you can handle. Retreat with the others. Seeing the insect roar, he guessed it was calling for reinforcements. Yasu erupted with power. I'll show you. The muscles on his body bulged. Mubai realized in shock, so he's a Kwangshu warrior, a rare class, ranked in the top 3 highest level classes. Yasu charged forward. Come on, you disgusting worm. He swung his hammer to smash its head, explode. Mubai understood that he was trading his blood for a surge in power. He'd either die today or be bedridden next month. He sent a message to the skeletal minions. Wait until he can't hold on. Then we make our move. Then he ordered his underlings, leave the big one to him, we'll deal with the small ones. He was certain many would fight over the divine artifact. Best to hide his true strength. A series of notifications appeared. Congratulations on defeating the dark armored insect monster. Gained experience and relic fragments. Yasu breathed a sigh of relief after clearing out most of the insects. This place should be safe now. Half an hour later, looking at the cave entrance, he thought it would be very dangerous to go deeper. He also noticed that his blood energy was almost depleted. Suddenly, a group of people came to greet him. Yasu. Hoyu and her group of sisters approached. Long time no see. He was startled. Hoyu, what are you people from Heisha doing at this relic? She stepped forward and replied, Yasu, don't be so fierce. My goal is just to get this divine artifact. I hope you'll step aside, he said angrily. You people. Seeing he was exhausted, Hoyu guessed, your blood energy is depleted. The other academies don't pose any threat to me. She casually turned and walked away. Then I won't stand on ceremony. Hoyu ordered her group, hurry, charge into the Insect King's lair, seize the divine artifact. Mubai rushed forward. Let me go check it out, Yasu advised. It's too dangerous. Don't go. He thought to himself he couldn't let them get the divine artifact. The group of women was blocked by 2 insects in front of the cave entrance. Hoyu directly cut them in half and charged forward. We need to finish this quickly. The other 3 girls coordinated to take down one. Watching their figures enter the cave, he thought their strength was quite formidable. Inside the cave, a monster was anxiously looking at a batch of eggs. Soon now, my children. The boss monster uttered, you are about to be born. The group of small insects sensed the commotion, turned to look. A sword flew straight at them. The sword pierced the boss's leg, but its skin was too tough and it bounced back. It roared, don't touch my children. Hoyu arrived and immediately demanded loudly, I don't have time to argue. Hand over the divine artifact now. He threatened, if not, I'll burn this whole nest down. The boss was furious. Damn humans, I'll kill you all as food for my children. It summoned the small insects. Come out, kill all these humans. Hoyu's group didn't retreat, ready to fight. Information about the monster appeared. Pincer Beetle Guard, boss, level 50, strength 6500, agility 500, vitality 6000, spirit 2500. She rushed at the boss. You guys handle the small ones, I'll take the big one. It swung its arm to block the descending blade. Mubai stood outside watching, holding his troops in reserve. He added to the fun, the fight isn't exciting enough yet. Let me spice things up. Mubai summoned a group of frost warriors for long-range attacks, smashing the insect eggs. Countless fireballs were launched simultaneously. Huge explosions occurred one after another within the cave. The boss roared with hate, damn humans, you dare harm my children. It erupted with power, I'll kill you all. Hoyu was surprised. Where did this brat come from? Daring to ruin my plans. Teski. The mother insect is about to go berserk. The boss had leveled up. I'll grind you humans into pulp. Its information appeared with vastly superior stats. A single blow from the boss sent Hoyu flying backward. Its voice tore through the air, crushed them. It targeted the female subordinates, turned them into nutrients for my children. She stared in shock as one subordinate was decapitated. Hoyu asked angrily, kid, where did you crawl out from, and why are you at 1 health? He replied, I'm here for the divine artifact. Inwardly surprised his information was exposed. Hoyu and her subordinates charged forward. Grab him, then we'll kill you first. The skeletal king immediately blocked the path. Don't you dare harm my master. One woman was surprised. This kid looks ordinary, but can summon something this strong. Suddenly a pain spread from his stomach. A blade pierced through. Mubai was shocked. That was fast, and the explosive power is terrifying. The woman named Arrogant declared, even if you're a top-tier necromancer, you'll die here today. Hoyu drew her blade. No one can take the divine artifact from my hands. At this moment, the boss's body was swelling up. When she noticed, she saw the disgusting worm eating its own kind to increase its strength. Hoyu charged in to attack. We need to deal with it quickly. This thing has evolved to the next level after devouring its kin. Run now. The aura emanating from the boss was horrifying. It extended its claws and slashed down. I'll tear you all apart. You quickly retreated, you damned creature. She leaped high into the air. I'll risk it all. A sword strike pierced down on the boss's head. Die already. It used its pincers to grab her head and legs. I'll tear you to pieces. Oyu's body was torn into multiple pieces. It had completely gone mad. You are all nutrients for my children. Mubai spoke up. It seemed that it was now my turn to show what I could do. Dongfang, cast your healing to boost the Frost Warrior for him. The arrow combined with the flame rushed forward, creating a massive explosion with the destructive force spreading everywhere. The Skeleton King faced the boss head-on. The praise was very valuable, and now came the most terrifying part. Skeleton warriors received the order and charged forward, unleashing their explosive techniques that shook the entire area. Boss roared in fury, saying it would devour them all. Jenen sneered, telling it not to be so hasty, for something even more terrifying was yet to come. Mubai immediately released the mother worm, one that was even more colossal than the boss itself. As the mother worm crashed into the boss, the explosive technique activated violently. Yasu outside was startled, wondering what was happening and if the divine artifact had exploded. The group of underlings, fearing for their lives, tried to persuade him, saying they should flee, as the place was too dangerous and the ruin was about to blow up. Meanwhile, Mubai received a series of notifications congratulating him on defeating the giant mother worm of the Lord class and earning a large amount of experience points. More congratulations came as he leveled up and received 10 ruin fragments. He cheered with joy at leveling up. Mubai approached the hovering crystal, wondering if this was the divine artifact. The system displayed a message congratulating him on obtaining the divine artifact, the soul-fusing crystal. He was astonished, not expecting it to be a real divine artifact, but he wondered what it was for. The system warned that the ruin would close in 60 seconds and everyone would be forcibly teleported out. A countdown began. 60:59. Mubai was shocked, having just obtained the divine artifact only for the ruin to close so soon. Outside, the personal guards rejoiced that the ruin was closing and they would soon be out. Yasu worried that the Black Kill organization had already gotten the artifact. A member asked what they should do since they hadn't found the student. He replied that they couldn't manage it anymore and would figure it out once they got out. Mubai walked toward the boss's body, his gaze cold and sharp. He stated that the boss had caused him to sacrifice many underlings and that it had taken the mother worm to take it down. The boss was covered in blood, but he wasn't finished. He declared he wouldn't let the boss die so easily. Outside, the ruin's gate turned a blazing red. The dean was surprised that the entrance was about to close. Amanda speculated that someone must have obtained the divine artifact. He nodded in agreement. At that moment, those inside were teleported out. They breathed sighs of relief, glad to be out. Some exclaimed in terror, saying it was scary, and that their 3 companions had been devoured. Some cried for a doctor, saying their leg was broken. Others wanted to go home, saying the ruin was terrifying. The dean ordered the teachers to take attendance and calm the students, sending the injured to the infirmary. Amanda asked about the situation and instructed that the panicked students be taken to rest. She then asked if anyone saw who defeated the boss and got the artifact. They reported seeing Bai Ye enter the boss's lair. Yes, and right after that there was a huge explosion. All eyes turned toward Mubai. Amanda asked sternly, Bai Ye, do you know anything about this? Mubai lied smoothly, saying that he saw a group from the Black Kill organization rush in and kill the boss. She was surprised. Black Kill? Yasu stepped forward to testify, saying that it was Huoyu from Black Kill who led her people in, and the artifact must have been taken by them. Amanda was angry, saying Black Kill was acting too arrogantly these days. Mubai thought to himself that this artifact was not simple, and he absolutely could not reveal that he was the one who took it. Amanda calmed down and told them to go rest. They all said yes. The dean looked at Mubai with a meaningful gaze and told Amanda that this student had a very special aura. She nodded, saying he was Bai Ye, a necromancer. He nodded knowingly. However, he also thought to himself that the boy was definitely no ordinary necromancer. Back in the dormitory, Mubai mumbled to himself that he had gotten a good amount of equipment this time and that it would probably come in handy later. The communication screen lit up. Fujia asked urgently, Boss, where are you? There's a buzz about you outside. Mubai replied that he was still at the Divine Dragon Academy and needed more time, then added that he had some equipment he needed Fujia to handle. Fujia nodded, saying he could send it over the spirit message system. He agreed, saying he'd be in touch. After saying that, the screen went dark and the call ended. Mubai finally had the time to look closely at the divine artifact. He wondered what it did and thought he should find someone to research it thoroughly. Next morning, in class, Amanda announced that after the recent incident, many students were injured and some had met with misfortune, so the academy would make adjustments. She instructed them to familiarize themselves with the knowledge in the Dark Summoning Handbook. She called Mubai and asked him to follow her. When they were in a private area, he asked, Miss Amanda, is something the matter? Amanda looked at him seriously and asked if he really saw the Black Kill members fighting the boss. He confirmed. She then asked if he saw any divine artifact. Mubai described it as looking like a piece of crystal. Amanda nodded, saying, Crystal, all right, that's all I needed to know. She added, by the way, the academy has arranged for him to join a special trial class. Mubai was surprised and asked what the special trial class was. Amanda explained that there was a trial tower in the academy, and passing each floor granted academic points. The higher the floor, the greater the difficulty and the more points. This class was created to prepare for conquering the tower. He was the only one from their department selected. Mubai thought it was strange he hadn't known about this great opportunity and asked why he was chosen. She replied that it was a special recommendation approved by the dean, who had his own reasons. She told him to prepare and head to the trial tower gate. Mubai nodded and said he would go right away. He was now standing before the trial tower's entrance. Mubai guessed there were probably many high-level monsters trapped inside. Some students approached and asked if he was the newbie, Bai Ye. Mubai politely replied, "Hello everyone, I'm Bai Ye." One of them urged, "Then let's head in, we're just waiting for you." They chatted as they walked, saying they'd never seen him before, so he must be a new freshman. Uji spoke loudly, "Alright, as per the rules, I'll go over the rules of the game once more. The tower had 18 floors. Passing floor 1 grants 1 point, floor 2 grants 5 points, floor 3 grants 10 points, floor 4 grants 20 points, floor 5 grants 50 points. The higher the floor, the greater the difficulty, and the higher the points." Mubai was curious, asking who had climbed the highest so far. Wujie replied that floor 9 hadn't been conquered in over 10 years, but a student had passed floor 8 a few years ago. He pointed to the ranking board behind him and told him to look. On the board, first place was Yasu, having reached floor 6. The time was 23 minutes and 47 seconds. Second place was Tianyi, also reaching 6 floors, with a time of 23 minutes and 58 seconds. Mubai nodded. The students urged him to stop dawdling and head in. The team members agreed. Wujie opened the space gate and said softly, "The entrance is open. Enter when ready. Good luck." Just then, the system reminded them that if they died in the tower, they would be automatically teleported out. If they left voluntarily, their run would not be recorded. Mubai was excited, finding it interesting and wanting to see how challenging it would be. Without hesitation, he stepped through the space gate. As soon as he arrived, a group of creatures was waiting before him. He frowned, thinking this was floor 1, and it looked too small. The system announced he had entered floor 1 and needed to face 100 guardian monsters. He had to eliminate them all to proceed to floor 2, and wished him good luck. Dark Doghead Men, elites of level 50, with strength 3,285, agility 2,754, constitution 3,315, and spirit 2,380. Mubai nodded, thinking that having to kill 100 of these on the first floor posed a bit of challenge. He wasn't worried and immediately summoned his entire army of skeletons. "For a summoner with a horde like me, this is too simple. Come out, my minions, time to work." As they charged into the Doghead Men, he ordered them not to hold back and to go for a quick victory. He added that they should attack from a distance and fire with all their might. In an instant, thousands of arrows rained down on the Doghead Men like a downpour. Seeing the smooth progress, Mubai was satisfied, thinking that this difficulty was nothing. Even 1,000 would be a small matter. Suddenly, a space door creaked open, and the system warned of a mutated Doghead Lord. The boss was level 75, with strength 8,655, agility 6,150, constitution 8,270, and spirit 6,150. He was impressed, asking if there was still another boss. The boss quickly entered a combat stance, its gaze sharp and piercing. Mubai pondered, deducing that it possessed considerable intelligence. Assessing the situation, he coldly ordered, "Skeleton King Knight, come out and get to work." Mubai fell into deep thought, deducing that it must have a high level of intellect. Reading the situation, he coldly commanded, "Skeleton King Knight, come forth and do your work." Reggie received the order to ride out, following the summon command and reporting to his master. He gently swung his sword, slicing through the weapon of the Lord Chieftain before him. Reggie quickly finished off his core. Seeing that a single strike took down the opponent, Mubai sneered in contempt, saying he had thought the enemy was something, but turned out to be just a pile of experience points. At that moment, the system displayed the reward, congratulating him on clearing floor 1 of the trial tower in 4 minutes 7 seconds. Without hesitation, he stepped into the space and said continue. The scene shifted to floor 2, where the system announced the mission to eliminate 500 peak-level elite monsters to earn the right to advance to floor 3. Good luck. Mubai glanced around and remarked that this floor was much more spacious than before. After thinking for a moment, he mused that this seemed to be a Minotaur tribe and decided to take a look. As soon as he approached the gate, Mubai spotted 2 Minotaur guards standing watch. He exclaimed in surprise, not expecting their perception range to be so wide. The system warned that the 2 elite guards were level 80, with strength, agility, and physique stats all superior. They charged fiercely, shouting intruder, and Mubai quickly signaled his Frostbone army to advance. Instantly, the 2 Minotaurs clashed with 2 Drybone warriors. Right then, he commanded in a stern voice, "Fireball, fire." Seeing his comrade burn to ashes right beside him, the Minotaur froze, eyes wide in shock, and opened his mouth in fury, about to roar. Mubai wondered in astonishment, could it be calling for reinforcements? As soon as he spoke, a horde of monsters flew in thick and fast, shocking him at the massive number that appeared so quickly. Mubai squinted in admiration. They even had ranged attacks. Seeing the arrows aimed at him, he could only exclaim in dismay. In that instant, Reggie swiftly leaped in and knocked away the arrows, shouting that no one would harm his master. Facing the situation, Mubai proudly drew his weapon. It seemed he had to broaden the horizons of these cattle. In the blink of an eye, the great serpent appeared, charging forward ferociously and ramming the monsters away. Without hesitation, he commanded sternly, "Great serpent, crush this trash herd of cattle for me."